Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Become the Strongest Being in Multiverse Season 1 Part 9. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 166. Eri was in the park since she wanted to go out. The only one who accompanied her was Office since some stayed at home making dinner and others were on a mission. Liza didn't go since she wanted to watch a series that she had liked. Eri was on a swing while Office was reading a book to learn more. Until a person approached Eri. "Hello girl. Eri. She is offering you something, sir." "How polite. You must taste good." "Eri. What is she talking about?" She got up from the swing and wanted to leave him, but the man was going to take her shoulder. But Office held him. "Office. Don't even think about touching her." Having a serious face that scared the person. "You think I'm afraid of you? I don't feel anything coming from you." "Office. I see." Releasing a bit of her aura. The person was scared since she surpassed him by a lot. "Let me go or else my companions will come for you and that brat. And you won't stand a chance against them." "Office. You think I'm afraid of you?" Snapping her fingers to put a barrier over Eri so she doesn't see. "Office. You are in Cow's brigade, no. Do you think I'll say something?" At that, Office broke her arm, causing the person to scream in pain. Office didn't want to waste her time, so she killed him. "Office. I created that organization and I am going to finish it." Removing the barrier. "Eri. Office. Kachan, what happened?" "Office. Nothing interesting, he's already gone." "Eri. I miss Tu-chan, I haven't seen him in a month, I miss him." Lowering your gaze. Office took her into her arms. "Office. He will be back soon, you know how he is. Issei will miss you too, and when he comes back he will take you for a walk." "Eri. I'll be waiting for that day." They both went home. Meanwhile, Issei was in her cabin until a person arrived. It had been 2 days since he fought against her 2 students. Tsunade. "Issei, good afternoon." "Issei. That brings her here." Tsunade. "I need a favor." "Issei. And that would be." Tsunade. "I want you to go to Sunagakur since Naruto and Hinata went there to help the Kazukiage." Issei. "Who else was there?" Tsunade. "Team 7 and Team 9. Issei. "I understand, I'll go right now." Tsunade. "I wish you luck and I hope they are well." Issei just nodded and left the place. Running at great speed since he had to get there quickly. Issei. "That group is already making their moves." Jumping and spreading his wings to get there faster. Naruto and Hinata were in the sand village. "Mema. And what are you doing here?" Naruto. "This is not the time for your stupidity, since this is more important." Myth. "Hey, don't talk to him like that." Naruto just let out a sigh and left so as not to continue the conversation. Hinata. "I did what I could to get the poison out of the Kazukiage's brother. Now we just have to wait." Naruto. "We have to go find Gaara. He may be in danger because of what Issei said." Hinata. "Because we didn't tell him to come with us too. He could help us." Naruto. "I would have liked it, but as you know we must improve on our own and be stronger to be at his level." Hinata. "Do you think that one day we will reach it?" Naruto. "I hope." Hours passed and the groups decided to leave to look for Gaara since they had the information. While they were going they passed a person. Kakashi. Itachi. Itachi. "They don't pass from here." Naruto. "We don't have time for games, we have to go save Gaara." Itachi. "I already told you." Having his neutral face. Someone was about to say something until Issei fell from the sky. Issei. "I arrived on time." Naruto. "Issei, what are you doing here or how did you arrive so quickly?" Issei. "This is not time for questions. You leave, I'll stay here." Hinata. "But." Issei. "But nothing, go away." No one said anything as Issei looked at them with a serious face. "In that case they better left." Issei. "It's been a while since I've seen you, Itachi." Itachi. "Issei, what are you doing here?" Issei. "I know 2 people from that big group, I can't let you hurt them." Itachi. "You make it difficult for me. Since I know how strong you are." Issei. "How about we stop playing games and the real you comes?" Itachi. "Propitious as always." Issei. "I like you, Itachi, but if you don't change I will have no choice but to kill you. Although if I do that your brother will get mad." Itachi. "That weak brat. Tell me, Issei, why didn't you train him too?" Issei. "So that he would become more proud of who he is." "No, thanks." Itachi. "Let's finish this then." Activating his Sharingan and going on the attack. Issei just let out a sigh and when Itachi was about to hit him Issei stopped his blow. Issei. "I'm sorry." Passing his hand into Itachi's chest. He didn't say anything and disappeared. Issei. "You are a good person, Itachi, but you had no choice but to take that path." Walking to go look for his companions. "What happened?" "They defeated you very quickly." Itachi. "He's here too." "Who are you referring to?" Itachi. From Issei. Those present when hearing that were surprised since they knew about him. Do not bother. This is bad if he being here only means trouble. We were lucky that we managed to escape on that occasion. You're kidding, right? He let us go. We were no challenge for him. That boy is a monster that came out of nowhere. Let's finish this quickly or else we'll get in trouble with the leader. The others nodded and left to stop the group. For his part, Issei just walked until he arrived with the rest. Issei. Something's wrong. Naruto. There are some seals and we can't do much since we have to remove them all at once. Team 9 went to look for the rest. Issei. I see. Approaching the seal. Issei. Be careful when removing this. Hinata. Because. Issei. When you remove these seals, a part of your chakra will go somewhere else. Maybe the owner of this. Naruto. So what do we do? Since we tried to destroy it but nothing. Issei. I'll try it too. Taking a step back. And letting out a sigh and then stretching out his fist. Some of Team 7 thought he was a fool to try that. At that Issei hit the rock hard. Lemma. Maybe he's stupid, he doesn't see that. It didn't end as everyone noticed how the rock began to show cracks until it was destroyed into pieces. Issei. You guys go. I have something to do. Naruto. How did he do that? Issei. There's no time for that. You go and save that person. Right now he must be suffering. Hinata. And you. Issei. I have something to do. When I finish I will go with you, I wish you luck. Starting to walk towards another place. Naruto and Hinata looked at each other and nodded and started running inside to look for the Kazukiage. Issei. I have to end these conflicts since I have to return home. I miss the girls, my little sister and my daughter. Letting out a sigh and heading towards his destination. Chapter 167. Issei was returning to the sand village and noticed many people outside the large gates. He approached and saw an old woman on the ground. Issei. Naruto, what happened here? Naruto. She gave her life to save Gaara. Since he was in a bad state, we couldn't get there on time. Issei. I see. Don't worry, I can tell that she did it from the heart, so don't feel guilty about what happened. Hinata. They are very strong. Issei just nodded. Minutes later Gaara was waking up and the first person she saw was Naruto. Gaara. What happened? Naruto. Many things but then we tell you, tell me how you feel. Gaara. Very good and thank you for helping me. Naruto. We're not friends. Gaara. Yes we are. Giving him a small smile. After that they did something for the grandmother's sacrifice. Issei and company were on the terrace of a building. Naruto. Issei, where did you go after removing the seal? Issei. I went to look for the other members of that team, but I couldn't find anyone. Hinata. You know them. Issei. The truth is, I ran into some of them about 2 years ago. We had some problems and well there was no choice but to fight. Naruto. How many do I fight? Issei. One was Itachi, he is very strong when he gets serious. Then there was another one with a shark face, I forgot his name, and the last one was a blonde boy. Naruto. Wow, that's why he told us to leave since he knew Itachi. Issei. Something like that. Hinata. You look very calm. Maybe he's not afraid of dying. Issei. I can't die yet, I have things to do. Maybe when it's all over I'll have that right. Naruto. But you never know when he's going to die. It could be today or tomorrow. The point is that we can't know when it will be. Issei. You're right but you should know that if you have a purpose no matter how much damage you suffer, you should be able to get back up again. Hinata. You still haven't told us about your life. Issei. When this is all over I'll tell you a little. Well, go rest, you had a long day, and tomorrow we have to leave. They both just nodded and left the place. Issei, for his part, stayed there watching the stars. The next day everyone from the Leaf Village resumed their journey to the village. Most of them went through the trees to get to their destination faster, while Issei was walking remembering something. Flashback. Issei was walking after defeating Itachi's clone until after a while he saw him again. Issei. It was faster than expected. Itachi. It's all over now, I have nothing to do here. Issei. I see. Itachi. You don't care about your friends. Issei. Of course, but I trust them and I know they can do something. Tell me Itachi what you have planned. Itachi. You already know the answer. That all the Biju. Believe it or not, they already have some. Issei. I understand and when will they go for Naruto? Itachi. I don't know but you should know one more thing. Issei. And that would be. Itachi. Our leader has a big grudge against that village, so sooner or later he will go there for that girl, and in the process she will destroy it. Issei. I see, thanks for the information. Itachi. This is the last thing I'll tell you. Since I have things to do. Issei. That day has already arrived. Itachi. That's right. Issei just gave her a smile and walked over and extended his hand to her. Itachi took the hand and nodded and then left. At that Issei returned to his path. End of flashback. Hinata. Issei, something's wrong. Issei. Because you ask. Naruto. We've been talking to you for a while and nothing. Issei. I was just thinking about some things. Hinata. They were important. Issei. Not so much. And why don't you go with the rest? Naruto. They just talk nonsense, I don't want to hear that. And it's nice to walk with you. Issei. I understand. You must continue training, hard days are coming. Naruto. We will. They continued on their way. After a few days of travel they returned to the village. For his part, Issei went to his cabin. Days passed and both girls trained very hard and also had some missions to get more experience. Issei was at Tsunade's house drinking tea. Tsunade. It's a surprise that you came there. Since they are not there. Issei. That's why I came. I need your help with something. Tsunade. And that would be. Issei. I want you three to leave here. In this days. Tsunade. And that's because. Issei. Something bad will happen soon and they are coming for Naruto. That's why I want them to leave. Tsunade. If so there is no safe place to be. Issei. But they also come to destroy this village. Tsunade. Don't you think you should report this to Minato? Issei. And you think he will listen to me? Knowing that he hates me. Besides, he must know, he just maybe thinks he's ready. Tsunade. I understand. But I will send the two of them to train with their invocations so they can achieve Sage Mode, that will take a long time. Issei. Good idea. And what will you do? Tsunade. I'll stay to help the injured. Issei. I understand. And don't worry, I'll help with whatever I can. There won't be many injuries. Getting up. Tsunade. Because you want to protect a place where your student was hurt. Issei. I wouldn't but there are children who are not to blame for what their parents have done. Plus there are people who love her. Like you. Tsunade. I see. Be careful. Issei just nodded and left the place. After a few days both girls returned from their mission and Tsunade sent them to train. They didn't want to but in the end Tsunade became serious and that scared them. They went to Issei and said goodbye, he just gave them a smile and then they left. Time passed and nothing had happened. Issei was leaning against a tree feeling the breeze. Until he opened his eyes. Issei. It's time. Getting up and going to the village. As she ran she heard the explosions. Hearing that, Issei went faster to reach his destination. Upon arriving at the place I noticed the city was very destroyed. Issei. You act faster than I thought. Starting to run, but after running for a few seconds he saw a group. Issei. Ino you and them get out of here. Ino. But Issei sensei, she is very strong, plus the two summons of her. Issei. Just leave. She didn't say anything else and got up from the ground and left the place. The others didn't say anything since they knew that Issei was strong. So you're Issei. I have been informed about you. I know how dangerous you are so I won't hold back. Sending the dog with four heads to attack. Issei dodged a bite that was going to give him by jumping and then gave a big blow to one that killed him. But when he did he noticed that another one grew back. Issei. It reminds you of that Hydra. He extended his hand to her and stopped the rhino's attack. She tightened her grip and lifted him into the air and then threw him as high as possible. When she was about to fall, Issei gave her a big blow on the forehead, destroying his entire body. The girl just raised an eyebrow when she saw that. Since she saw Issei's great strength with her own eyes. Issei was about to go get the dog, but he noticed how he was called by the girl and they both left the place. Issei. I don't like this. Looking around until he saw a person in the air. Without wasting time, Issei took a big jump and fell under him. Pain. Shinra Tensei. And that they saw a great light. Issei didn't like it when he saw that. When the attack was about to hit the village. Issei gave a big clap upwards to stop the attack. Both skills collided with each other, causing a huge roar and a large blizzard. Some citizens had to feel something so as not to fly away. For his part, Issei looked up at Pain and he looked at him with his neutral face. Chapter 168. Pain. Issei, I didn't think I'd see you in this place. Issei. I'm glad you know about me. Pain. You've caused so much trouble that I won't hear from you. Issei was going to respond, but then Minato arrived. Minato. How dare you attack my village? Pain. This place is rotten with its people. Minato. I don't care about your excuses. It's time to pay. Throwing one of the kunai at him. But Pain destroyed him so that he wouldn't get close. That's when Pain's other companions arrived. Issei for his part did nothing since he did not want to interfere in their fight. He turned around and left the place since he had something to do. Minato called several of his Anbus and his Junin. Issei had left the village. Looking for a place until he found it. No, it took you so long to arrive. Issei. What can I say? You don't know how to hide very well. What do you want? Issei. Tell me what you wish for by doing all this. I just want a world without wars, without famine and without suffering. That's why I have to end all of this. Issei. Even if you achieve that, you must know that later everything will happen again. There will always be wars. Then all that remains is to do it again. Issei. There will never be peace no matter how hard you fight. There will always be problems. I was born in the middle of a war, I spent days without eating with my companions, and I saw several of them die in front of me. Issei. You are not the only one who has suffered out there, there are people who suffered perhaps just like you. But they still move forward. You know what you caused. I only make this world better. Issei. You took the wrong path. What do you know? You've had a good life. You know nothing. Issei. Who knows? What is your name? Nagato, and this is my partner Conan. Issei. Your friend is somewhat silent. Nagato. Yes. I can feel how my companions are destroying yours. Issei. They are not my companions, they are just strangers. You know Nagato, I can see that you are tired of this life. Nagato. Because you think that. Issei. Your look leaves a lot to say. Just like your friend. I can tell that they already want to end this more than her. Nagato. Not until I'm done with everything. Issei. Tell me what they will use the Bijuu for. Nagato. To keep them locked up and no one uses their power. Issei. That's a mistake. Your masked friend will use them for something else. The truth is I still don't know why, but it will be something bad. He's just been playing with you. Conan. I had suspicions about him since we met him. Nagato. He alone helped us. Issei. Get out of that illusion and see what the world really is like. You want to kill an entire town. You must know that there are innocent people there like children. I know there are arrogant people and everything. Conan. Nagato, he is right. Let's get this over with. Hihiko wouldn't have liked this, you know how he was. Nagato remained silent, remembering his best moments with his friends. Issei. Life is difficult, we just have to keep going. Nagato. Because you didn't attack me when you saw me. Issei. I wanted to talk to you and know your reason. Nagato. I see. You're right, just like you, Conan. The truth is, I'm already tired. Conan. So. Nagato just nodded and gave him a smile. Nagato. Issei, can I ask you a favor? Issei. If it's in my hands I will do it. Nagato. You can end this war and take care of my friend. Issei. I will do my best to keep my promise. Nagato just gave him a smile and used one of his abilities to bring fallen people back to life. His companions vanished as his creator was about to die. Minato and company were all injured and barely managed to see what was happening. Nagato was on the ground, while Conan had him in his arms. Nagato. Issei, come. Issei didn't say and approached him. At that Nagato gave him something, and when Issei took it he was surprised. Nagato. Conan will help you. I wish you luck. Closing his eye and dying with a smile. Issei. You want me to do something? Conan. I'll take care of him, don't worry, just like me. Issei. I made a promise. Conan. And I thank you, but you should know that I only have a few days to live. I'm hurt after so many wars. Issei. I'll help you. Conan. No thanks. I want to be able to rest and pay for my sins wherever they end up. Issei. I see. But before that, play this to your friend. There's no need. Conan. He trusts you. So sit back and I'll do the rest. Issei. But. Conan. But nothing. This won't be that long since it's only one. Tell me, do you want me to give you the other one? Issei. It's not right like this. Besides. Activating the Sharingan that he had in his left eye. It's only one since Danzo has the other one. Conan was surprised when she saw that. Conan. You. Issei. The truth is that a person who was injured gave this to me. But I became aware of him about 3 years ago. Conan. I see. At that Issei lay down on the ground and Conan began the process. After half an hour it was over. Issei opened his right eye and Conan was able to notice the Rinnegan. Conan. You will always have it that way. Issei. I wish not to attract attention. Taking seals with his hands and putting a jutsu on her eye and returning to its usual color, which was green. Conan stood up and took his friend into his arms. Conan. I wish you luck and thank you for everything. Issei. If something happens, call me. Conan just nodded and left the place. Issei just stood there watching them leave. After a few minutes he turned around and returned to the village. When he arrived he noticed a lot of disorder. Issei. Wow, that Minato caused a big mess with his fight. He walked a little until he ran into a person. Tsunade. What had you done to yourself? Issei. I've been busy and tell me how the situation is. Tsunade. Honestly, everything was strange. Minato and his group were about to die, but out of nowhere they disappeared. And the people who were dead came back to life. Issei. Wow, not things. Tsunade. What did you do, Issei, and don't lie to me. Issei. Talk to the real one, just that. Turning around and leaving the place. Tsunade was going to follow him, but then Sizune arrived to take her to the hospital. Issei was walking through the streets until a group of Anba stopped him. Mr. Danzo would like to speak with you right now. Follow us. Issei just let out a sigh and just nodded and that was taken away. After a few minutes of walking they arrived at a secluded place. Issei could sense many presences, but he didn't take much notice of them. Issei. What do you want from me? Danzo. I know your skills, Issei. I want you to work for me. Issei took a seat on a chair that was there. Issei. No thanks, I'm fine like this. Danzo. You should know that I hate rejection. Issei. Look man, I know about you. I know the things you've done. Besides why you use those bandages. Danzo. If so, I have no choice but to do it by force. Issei. You know I don't feel like fighting. I've had a long day. And now you're telling me your nonsense. Danzo just snapped his fingers and many of his ambus appeared. Issei stood up and let out a sigh. Chapter 169. All the ambus launched the attack. When one was about to attack Issei with a kunai, he just kicked him in the face, leaving him lying on the ground. The others began to make seals with their hands to cast jutsus on them. Issei without wasting time went against them. Issei. They must be faster. Hitting someone in the face that killed him once and for all. At that point he took a sword that was on the ground and went on the attack, killing anyone who crossed him. Danzo had his face neutral when he saw that, but inside he was surprised by Issei's speed and his strength. At that one threw an earth dragon at him. Seeing that, Issei stamped a big foot on the ground where he took out a rock and threw it at the dragon, destroying it. How did you do that? Issei. I don't like making seals. She came at him, punching him in the chest, causing his arm to go through his chest. Danzo was about to leave, but Issei grabbed his shoulder. Issei. Where are you going, old man? You called me here and now you're leaving. That's rude, you know. Danzo. Who are you really? Issei. An ordinary person who doesn't like problems but always follows me. At that Danzo removed his blindfold and activated his Sharingan ability to change Issei's memories. Danzo. I didn't want to use this, but you will serve me from now on. Issei. That will be impossible, you know. Danzo. How is it possible? It must have worked. Issei. I don't like you playing with my memories. I have beautiful memories. Danzo was about to attack Issei with his staff, but he grabbed his shoulder and used a little force, causing Danzo to fall to his knees in pain. Issei. While the others were fighting outside, you were hiding here waiting for the moment to have that position of Hokage. Danzo. That belongs to me. Issei. I don't care. You know I had nothing against you. But I found out that you gave Minato that stupid idea of marrying Naruto to his brother. Danzo. She proved to be strong. And she could have good heirs. This way our village will be strong. Issei. As long as I'm here, they are not going to suffer. They've done it for a long time now, it's their turn to be happy. Danzo. Screw you. Issei just put pressure on her grip. Danzo just screamed in pain, but no one could hear him since everyone was dead. At that Issei removed a protector that Danzo had on his arm and was disgusted when he saw several Sharingan. Issei. You would do anything for power. But going to such an extreme is disgusting. Danzo was about to use both of his hands to launch a jutsu at him, but Issei beat him to it, ripping off his arm. Issei. I know this won't be enough. Praising Danzo. Issei. You got everything you have by killing many people and with the help of that snake, that is not the case. Danzo. How much do you know? Issei. You know I like to travel. But I don't waste time, I also look for information. Danzo. Where did you come from? And looking for information about you but nothing. Issei. Because I would have to tell you. But well, let's finish this. I have something important to do. Danzo was about to say something, but Issei used his poison, and Danzo could only scream in pain. Since Issei had used a very lethal and very painful one. Issei began to walk to the exit while he heard Danzo's cries of pain, but he did not take it into account and continued. As he left the place he noticed that it was already late. And he decided to go to his house to rest since it had been a long day. Days passed until we discovered Danzo's corpse, all disfigured. Minato looked for the person responsible, but he couldn't find him. Naruto and Hinata upon returning were surprised to see the village in a mess. Swan told them what had happened. Hinata. That's a lot. Naruto. I'll go to Issei. I have to know something. Tsunade. It would be impossible. Hinata. And that's because. Tsunade. He left a few days ago. He said he would be back soon, he had something to do. Naruto. Because he always leaves without warning. Hinata. He's always like that. Tsunade. The truth is, he asked me to send them to train since he didn't want to put them in danger. I stayed to attend to the hospital. Naruto. But we could have helped. Tsunade. I know, but he wanted it that way and I couldn't do anything. Also, before leaving, he told me to become stronger since horrible days are coming. Hinata. What do you mean by that? Naruto. He always knows what's going to happen. How he does to get the information. Tsunade. Who knows? He's much faster than that pervert to get it. Hinata. We just have to wait for his return. Tsunade. Leaving that aside, tell me how your training went. Naruto. We managed to master Sage Mode, it's really great. By using it I feel stronger. Tsunade. I'm happy for you that Alan improved like this. Hinata. We wanted to show you our progress. Tsunade. You guys really wanted. Naruto. Of course. Tsunade. I can ask you both something and I hope you are sincere. They both nodded. Tsunade. You guys like him, don't you? Upon hearing that, they both turned red as a tomato. They didn't know what to say. Tsunade. Seeing your faces I can deduce that I'm right. Tell me since when? Naruto. I don't know, it just happened. I just know that I don't want him to walk away from me. Hinata. He always supported me from a young age and encouraged me. At first I started admiring him, but over time he changed. Tsunade. Wow, I'm glad you told me his feelings. Naruto. But he still sees us as girls. Tsunade. Obviously yes since they act as such. Hinata. So. Tsunade. I can only tell you to talk to him. Naruto. We just have to wait for him to return. I hope it is soon. Meanwhile Issei walked through the forest. Issei. The last thing I want is necessary deaths. So I must end this war on my own. I must finish them all off on my own. Following his path until he reached the town of the waves. And when he looked up from him he was surprised since the bridge had his name. Issei. Wow this is quite a surprise. I better take another path. Not entering the forest and going to the water so as not to have to see the town. Time passed and Issei continued with his journey, but Akatsuki always beat him to it. While the two girls continued training and looking for a way to confess to Issei. Elsewhere, the leaders were gathered. Auden. Why are you calling us Urzich since it was very sudden? Surzich. Riaz and his group left the mansion. They joined Rizavam. Everyone was surprised when they heard that. Azazel. This is not good. But why? Serafal. Maybe it's because of his hatred of Issei. Surzich I. Surzich. Okay Serafal. I'm fine but my parents are very upset knowing this. But it's partly our fault, we spoil her a lot. Izanagi. What do you have planned? You know we are going to help you. Surzich. I have no choice but to declare that she is a traitor and that both she and her group must die. Azazel. Barakiel will be very bad. Serafal. I don't know how I'll tell Kuroka. Surzich you have my support if you need anything. Surzich. I really appreciate it, she said. At that point all the other leaders gave the information about her betrayal in case they crossed paths with her. Chapter 170. Time passed and Issei was on a mountain watching the sunset. Issei. In the end I couldn't do much, they managed it. Letting out a sigh as she had found out that the war had started. Issei. I have to go to that place quickly or else there will be many innocent people who will die. She got up and took out her wings and flew away at great speed. While Naruto and Hinkta were on the front lines fighting the revived ones. They had already been fighting for 2 days, but they had no choice since they had to stop them from going against the wounded. Naruto. Hinata, if you're tired, go rest, I can continue, and there are more ninjas nearby. Hinata. I'm fine. I can still continue. Grabbing some seals and then summoning her companion to go into battle. Naruto just put on a smile and did the same, summoning a large tiger. Issei was flying at a high speed under her sight and noticed that many people were gathered fighting. Without wasting any time she deactivated her wings and fell at a great speed and in doing so caused a large screen of smoke. When he left, several stared at him. Issei. Tell me the situation that is happening here. They revived Madara Uchiha. Issei was a little surprised to hear that name since she knew who she was. Issei. I can tell they're not having a very good time. He is very strong. Issei. You guys go help other people, I'll take care of him. The ninja didn't say anything and left since he didn't have time and he had to give the report. Issei walked a little and saw Madara in the distance with his arms crossed with a serious face. Issei. So you are Madara Uchiha. It's a pleasure to meet you. Madara. He came out brave. Issei. Tell me, are you doing this because you like it or because you're being forced? Madara. Nobody bosses me around. Plus I like seeing her desperate face. Putting on a big smile. Issei. Then I have no choice but to kill you. Madara was going to answer, but that's Issei was gone. Madara activated his Sharingan to search for him, so he turned around and crossed his arms as Issei gave him a big blow that sent him flying and crashing into a rock. Madara looked at his arms and noticed how destroyed they were, but seconds later he recovered. Madara. Not bad but that's not enough. Issei. I hope you give me a fight. Madara started making seals with his hands. Madara. Kaiten Gakumakyaku. Releasing a large puff of fire. Issei. Suit and water pillar. Creating a large water barrier depending on Madara's attack. When both skills collided, a large mist formed. Madara with his Sharingan looked for Issei but did not find him. Until he felt a kick in his ribs that sent him away. Madara. How is it possible that I haven't seen it? At that moment Madara saw a large amount of fire coming towards him. He barely managed to defend himself from the attack. Madara. You copied it. Issei. Not at all, he just wanted to know how it was done. Starting to run towards Madara. He took a combat pose and they both began to bump fists. Issei evades every blow, while Madara couldn't do much since Issei was very fast. Madara. Stay still. Issei. Okay. He stopped moving and stood there. An annoyed Madara went to him and hit him in the face, but he didn't even move him. Issei. Happy. He brought his hand closer to Madara's chest and gave it a light blow that knocked the wind out of Madara. Madara. You only used Taijutsu. Issei. I didn't have the chance to learn that, you know. I was curious to know what the 8 doors thing was like, but that will be another time. Going against him and jumping, wanting to kick him. Seeing that, Madara just crouched down but did not anticipate that Issei would use his other leg to hit him hard in the face. Madara, upon feeling that blow, became more upset and got up and activated the Rinnegan. And then I activated his Susanoo. Seeing that, Issei was surprised since it was the first time he saw that. Issei. That's great. Madara did not pay attention to him and used one of his swords to kill Issei. But when he was about to give it to her, Issei stopped her with his hand. And he squeezed it, destroying it. He approached the Susanoo, and Madara threw every jutsu he could, but Issei destroyed them or evaded them. When he was close to the Susanoo, he gave it a big blow that completely destroyed it. Madara was surprised to see that since it was the first time he had happened that to him. Madara. Shinra Tensei. Launching his attack towards Issei. But for his part he just stood here. Living it fully. Madara, seeing the great destruction in his path, was about to leave until he heard a voice. Issei. That was great. Madara turned around and saw Issei in the same place. He hadn't even moved. Madara. Who the hell are you? Issei. Just a person who made a promise to end this. Taking a step, Madara, upon hearing that, got upset and created several clones that he sent to attack. Issei only took another step, causing the sand to begin to shake, and seconds later a crack opened where several clones fell. Those who remained continued running. Issei evaded each blow and gave them one each and disappeared. He looked around and noticed that he was gone. Issei. It was amazing. Well, I'll see him again soon. Turning around and starting to walk. While he did so, he came across several who had been revived and sealed each one he met since they were ninjas loyal to their villages and did not want to be there to fight with their companions. While walking in the distance he saw 2 people and quickly tickled one of them. She turned around and was about to give Issei a big punch, but her fist was stopped. Issei. Relax. Naruto. Issei, how come? Issei. I found out what happened and I came. Plus that style looks good on you. Naruto. It was thanks to Kurama that I am stronger now. Giving Issei a big smile. Issei. Hinata, you've gotten stronger, I can tell. Hinata. Thanks, but not like Naruto. Issei. Everything in its time. And well, how is the situation? Hinata. Everything is getting worse and worse. I don't know where they come from. Besides, other ninjas run out of chakras sooner or later. Issei. I know what will happen. I will help with whatever I can. You two go on with your thing and I'll go help. They both nodded and Issei left the place. They both saw each other and went to the attack since they wanted to be with Issei as soon as possible. Issei was running through the forest and encountered several white Zetsus. She just let out a sigh and went on the attack since she wanted to end it as quickly as possible. Issei. At the end of this war one will go home. I miss my family. Killing everything he came across. Chapter 170. 3 days had passed since Issei joined the war and he could notice the fatigue of several who were there. Issei. How are you two? Naruto. I can still fight. Hinata. I still have a lot of chakra left. Issei. They know they can't lie to him, right? Naruto. We just don't want you to fight alone. Plus this is getting worse and worse. Issei. You guys stay here. I'm going to finish this. Hinata. As he will. Issei. I'll find a way. Starting to walk to the place where most of them were fighting against Madara and Obito. Both girls stayed there to recover some of their chakra reserves. Without wasting any time, Issei began to run at great speed. After a few minutes he arrived at his destination and saw a large creature there attacking all the shinobi. Without wasting time he went to the front where both Uchihas were there. Madara, seeing Issei, got upset. Obito. Something happens. Madara. It's that brat. Aiming at Issei. When Obito saw Issei, he was surprised to see him since he knew who he was. Obito. This will be a problem. That boy caused us a lot of problems in the past. We have to defeat him now. Madara. Do it. Obito nodded and forced Obito to attack Issei with one of his large hands. Seeing that, Issei extended his 2 hands up to stop the impact. Doing so created a large crack in the ground from the force. Then Issei pushed his hand to make room and saw both black-haired men. Issei. This will be difficult. Taking a step forward. Issei. 7th True Spirit Form ability. The spiritual form appearing, the ninjas seeing that were surprised by how big it was. Both Uchihas were surprised by what they saw as they noticed how strong he was. Issei without wasting time gave the Biju a big blow that sent him flying away. Then Issei started walking towards the Biju. Naruto and Hinata did not want to leave everything to Issei, so they went to the battlefield, and when they arrived they were surprised to see him in his spiritual form. Naruto. What is that? Hinata. It looks like Susanoo. Activating his Byakugan to see better. The Biju stood up and created a large lady Biju that he threw at Issei. He extended his two arms and then gave a big applause that destroyed the Biju lady. The Beto was shocked by what he was seeing since it was the first time he fought him. Since he had not fully believed in his strength. The ninjas didn't know what to say when they saw such destructive power from Issei. Issei began to walk and with each step he took he caused a small tremor that scared some. Madara, annoyed, sent the Biju to attack. Issei just evaded every blow or technique used by the Biju and then landed a blow on him. At that he grabbed the Biju by one tail and threw it into the air. Issei. Kaiten Gakumakyaku. Creating a large amount of fire and hitting the Biju squarely. The shinobi's eyes were wide as it was the first time they had seen such an amount of fire with a simple jutsu. Some Hokages present didn't know what to say. Hinata. That's why he told us to push a jutsu to the limit since it can cause that. Naruto. Issei is great. When Issei stopped, he saw the Biju full with several burns, but little by little it healed. The Beto. Where does he get so much chakra from? That thing must consume a lot. Madara. Shut up and attack him. The Beto didn't say anything and went to the attack. Seeing that, Issei deactivated his spiritual form and ran to attack as well. When he was about to hit him he passed through Obito's body. Issei was surprised to see that. At that he turned around and saw a large ball of fire coming towards him. But Issei couldn't dodge it, so he received it squarely. Several thought he would be hurt, but when the smoke cleared they saw him as if nothing had happened. Obito was going to say something, but Issei moved at such a high speed that he didn't have time to activate his ability and was hit squarely in the stomach. Issei confidently used a lot of force and in doing so he pierced Obito's stomach, holding him down. Issei. Hey, why did you use that? Obito. Damn monster. Falling to the ground. Those who were nearby heard those words and were scared when they saw Issei's power. For his part, he didn't take it much importance since he was used to you calling him that. He turned around and saw Madara with a serious face. Issei. I let you go once but this time that won't happen. Madara was going to respond, but in an instant Issei was in front of him. Where he received a blow to the face that sent him flying away and crashing into a mountain. At that point someone was going to attack him from behind, but Issei evaded the blow and kicked him, sending him flying as well. Madara came out of the rubble and went to the attack. Issei just stood there taking each hit. Issei. Because of your fury, you can't even fight well. Madara. Because you don't die. Issei. It's not my time yet. He parried a blow from Madara and then he kicked him in the ribs, breaking two of them. Issei. Why do you do this? Madara. To show who is the strongest. Issei. What a stupid reason. Killing so many innocents just for your ambitions. Madara. In this world the strongest dominate and the weak must perish. Issei was going to respond, but then the Biju sent him flying with one of his tails. Issei was sent far away from the battlefield. Naruto, upon seeing this, became upset and activated his Kurama state and attacked Madara. Issei was left crashed on a mountain. Issei. Wow, that really sent me away. Falling to the ground and leaping towards the battlefield. When he arrived he saw Naruto fighting Madara and to his surprise Sasuke too. Issei. When he got here but well that doesn't matter. Leaving the fight to them. The minutes passed and both young men were tired. Naruto thoughts. Kurama help me please. Kurama. I do my best. How did that boy hit them? Naruto. We talked about Issei. The best sensei in the world. Kurama better not say anything and Naruto continued with the fight. Everything continued until Zetsu arrived and killed Madara from behind and freed his mother. Just by leaving, she activated her ability to put everyone in a dream. Seeing that, Naruto got scared since everyone was in that state except her and Sasuke. I look everywhere for Issei but nothing. Issei in his dream was in his house. Eri. 2-chan, let's play. Issei. Where do you want to go? Eri. To the park. Issei. Okay, let's go. They both left the house and Issei looked around as he remembered that he was on the battlefield. But he left it aside since he was with his daughter. He put her on the swing and started pushing her. Issei could hear her joy and he liked that. After a few minutes they went to eat something. Eri. When will my moms be back? Issei. I don't know. But now that I remember I should be on a mission. Eri. Mission what? Issei. Helping a friend. Eri. You leave. Issei. You know I like this place, but I don't belong here. I stayed here just so I could see you again, since I hadn't been able to do so for years. Eri. 2-chan, what are you talking about? Issei just gave her a smile and stood up from his seat. Eri was going to say something, but Issei punched the air and as he did so cracks began to form. Issei. See you soon Eri. Eri. Don't leave me 2-chan. Issei just turned around as he heard Yuri crying. That brought a tear to her eyes since she didn't like that. Seconds later she woke up and emerged from the cocoon. Issei. It wasn't a bad dream, but I prefer reality. Looking around and noticing everyone in cocoons. Issei. What a problem. In the distance she saw Naruto and decided to go to the place. Chapter 172. Issei, upon seeing Naruto, went to her, covering her eyes. Naruto? Who is bothering me in such a situation? Hitting Issei in the abdomen with his elbow. At that Issei removed her hands and she turned around with an annoyed face, but when she saw Issei she was surprised. Issei. Hey, that hurt. She rubbing her abdomen. Naruto. How did you manage to get out? Issei. That doesn't matter right now. Tell me who your friend is. Zetsu. How did you come out of my mother's most powerful jutsu? Issei. That wasn't real. Although I liked it. Thank you for showing me my daughter. Hearing that, Naruto widened her eyes and saw Issei. He just smiled at her. Naruto. Explain to me later. Issei. Okay. No one can get out of there. Since you are so strong I don't feel much chakra in you. Issei. I don't usually use it. And who are you? Naruto. This is Kaguya Tsutsuki. Issei. I see a pleasure. Zetsu. Don't talk to her so casually, she's a goddess and you're just a filthy human. Issei. Whatever you say. Kaguya. Die. Launching an attack on all three. Naruto moved away so as not to receive the attack. Sasuke pulled out his katana to deflect the attack and Issei stopped it with his hand. Kaguya seeing that launched more attack towards Issei using various elements. Upon hearing that he took out his katana and deflected all attacks. Issei. Not bad. We have to finish this quickly, I have to go back to my house. Going on the attack. Kaguya seeing him coming to her created a portal sending Issei to where he fell into a place full of lava. Naruto was going to say something, but she arrives, she was also thrown there just like Sasuke. He managed to summon a bird and Naruto was able to float. Naruto was about to cry when she saw Issei fall into the lava, but then he came out. Naruto was happy when she saw him. And Kaguya and Zetsu were surprised to see him alive without any burns. Issei jumped and put out his wings to be in front of them. Everyone was surprised to see that. Zetsu? What are you? Issei. You said it yourself, I'm just a filthy human. Zetsu, upon hearing his response, became upset. Kaguya was looking at Issei since she noticed that he was calm despite the situation she was in. She was about to say something, but Sasuke was going to attack her from behind, but she managed to evade the attack and sent Sasuke to another dimension so that he wouldn't bother her. Kaguya. Because you look so calm. Issei. What do you mean? Aren't you afraid of dying? Issei. Maybe. But you know sooner or later it will happen. Kaguya. I see. So today is your day. You do not deserve to have this power. Issei. Because. Kaguya. They only use it for wars. Issei. Even if they have no power, humans will look for a way to hurt each other. Since it is part of their nature. Kaguya. Then all that remains is to eliminate them all. Issei. You could do it but no. Since among them there are humans who fight to get ahead. Kaguya did not respond and launched several attacks at Issei. On her part, he went against her, evading all attacks when he was close to her, he was about to hit her. Kaguya confidently did not move, but when she received Issei's blow she was falling to the ground from the blow. Issei. Never trust yourself in a battle, no matter who your enemy is, never underestimate him. Kaguya recovered from the blow and went to attack. Issei. Dragon King's first roar skill. Launching the attack, Kaguya only covered her ears when she felt such pressure. Just like Naruto, even though he was far away he was still strong. Kaguya looked around and couldn't find Issei. I use his Byakugan but nothing. Seconds later he was in front of her. Issei. I'm sorry but we have to end this. Giving him a blow to the stomach that knocked the air out of him. Issei stepped back and watched as she held her stomach. After a few seconds of taking a breath she saw Issei with a serious face. Kaguya. I'll kill you. Launching several attacks. Issei just evaded them and approached her. Issei. You have good skills, but you are not used to fighting. You can't create a strategy. Kaguya. You don't know anything about me. Issei better not respond and went on the attack. Seeing him coming, Kaguya created another portal, but this time she evaded it and took Kaguya by her hand and threw her at her. Issei was about to say something, but Kaguya grabbed Issei with her hair and took him with her. They both fell into a desert. Issei. What a strange place this is. Kaguya. How come you act like that? Maybe you don't know the situation you are in. Issei. If I get upset I will only cause a disaster and I would be like you. Kaguya upon hearing that better went on the attack. Issei. I told you. Kaguya continued to launch attacks. Everything she had but it was of no use since Issei deflected or destroyed every attack. They stayed like that for half an hour until Kaguya stopped. Since she noticed a big screen of smoke and she thought she had killed him. She was about to leave until someone spoke to her from behind her. Issei. You were attacking that place for 15 minutes and you finally stopped. Kaguya. How did you get there? Turning around. Issei. You have the Byakugan and yet you didn't see him come out of there. You should train more. Kaguya. You are not a normal person. Issei. They tell me that often, you know. Kaguya. Because you don't just die and thus cease to exist. Issei. I exist only to protect my family, that is the purpose since the day I met them, and every action I take, no matter how violent or how cruel it is, I do it for the well-being of my family. I have lost count of the people or monsters I have killed, as well as the number of times they have called me a monster. But I don't care, as long as I see their smiles I can be happy too. Kaguya. Because you care so much about them. Issei. Because I don't have anything else. Without them right now I don't know what my life would be like. Kaguya, I know that deep down you are a good person. But you let yourself be guided by power. I met many people who are easily guided. Kaguya. I do all this too. Issei. You do this for your own good. And the nobody else. Kaguya. You don't know anything about me. My own children locked me up. Issei. Because you got out of control. You know, if someone goes crazy or something like that, I'd rather die and not hurt my loved ones. Kaguya. You are very stupid to think like that. Issei. It could be like that. But I prefer to think like that than about nothing. Kaguya. You don't know what I've suffered. Issei. And you're right, I don't know. But tell me, do you know what my life is like? Kaguya. Because I should know. Issei. And that's what I'll answer to you. Because I would have to know about your life. I don't know you. Kaguya. Because you didn't kill me. It wouldn't be so difficult for you. Issei. Like I told a person once. I still notice that he is a good person, he is just afraid to let his feelings out. Kaguya. Maybe you want to convince me by talking so I don't kill everyone. Issei. Could be. How do I do it? Giving him a smile. Kaguya, seeing that, made a half smile that Issei noticed. Issei. You smiled, it's the first time I've seen you do it. Kaguya. It's not true. Issei. Don't lie to me. Kaguya. That's not true. Issei was going to say something, but someone else spoke. Zetsu. Mother killed that human, he is disrespecting you and just playing with you. Nothing she says is true. Issei. You have a rebellious son. Zetsu. Kill him now. Kaguya. Zetsu, shut up. Upon hearing that he was going to respond, but Kaguya lifted his sleeve and gave him a serious look. The best one didn't say anything else. Issei. Tell me, Kaguya, why don't we better leave this fight and go drink some tea? There is one that is very good. Kaguya. Because you act so childish. It was good to see a brat. Issei. Hey, don't call me that. I have a name and my name is Issei, it's a pleasure. Kaguya. And you keep acting like this. Issei. Just so you know, I'm 32 years old. Kaguya. You're still a brat to me. Issei. Don't compare me to you who is thousands of years old. Kaguya. Well, you're right about that. Issei. Tell me, will you leave this fight up to here? Kaguya. Because you want to help them. Issei. You know, I only help the innocent, not others. I have met many people in this world and most of them are very conceited. But I also met good people. Like Naruto, despite what she suffered, she kept going. Kaguya. And you. Issei. My life. Putting his hand on her chin and thinking. At that he saw Kaguya with a smile and she didn't like that. Issei. I'll tell you, but you'll have to stop all this. It's a deal. Stretching out her hand. Kaguya, seeing that, did not want to accept, but she was curious about Issei. She was about to take it, but Zetsu spoke. Zetsu. Don't trust, maybe you'll believe in another human. Do not be stupid. She was going to continue, but she remembered the last word she said and got scared. Kaguya lifted her sleeve and looked at him with a serious look. She was about to say something, but she eliminated it. Issei. That wasn't your son. Kaguya. No. Issei better not say anything and extended his hand again. Kaguya just let out a sigh and took it. Issei just smiled when he saw that. Chapter 173. Issei. Well, let's go back to where Naruto is, she can't stay there. Kaguya. I have no problem. Issei. Don't say that, come on. Kaguya only half smiled and created the portal where they both entered. As Naruto left, she got into an attack position. Issei. Relax, she's my friend. Putting her hand on her shoulder. Seeing that, Naruto was surprised. Issei. You could bring the Uchiha. Kaguya just let out a sigh and she brought it too. After that the group returned to their dimension. Issei. Well, it's all over now. Naruto. There's still one thing missing. Issei. Oh, that's true. Sasuke. You again. You've only been a problem since I met you. Issei. You don't even know your name and I won't blame you. You better get out of here. Sasuke didn't say anything and went to the attack with a Chidori in hand. Kaguya was about to attack him, but Issei moved at great speed, appearing behind Sasuke and hitting him in the neck, making him unconscious. Issei. This boy is very imperative. Naruto. And annoying. Issei. Leaving this aside. Kaguya let them free yes. Kaguya just let out a sigh and deactivated the infinite Tsukuyomi. Little by little the ninjas began to get up. Hinata being one of the first, she looked around until she saw Issei and Naruto. She quickly went to them. Seeing Kaguya, she was surprised, but Issei just denied and she understood. When everyone was conscious they gathered and she was surprised to see Kaguya there. Issei. Don't worry, she's my friend, she won't do anything. Don't talk nonsense, she's a monster. He must be under a jutsu. Naruto. He tells the truth, she's not bad. Lie, and that boy is also a monster. I killed Itachi without mercy. Maybe he did the same with Sasuke too. Issei. She's just unconscious. Minato. You only cause us problems. Issei. You again. Minato. My children lost their power and it's because of you. You took them away and gave them to that useless woman. Issei. Hey, watch your language. She is revealing her true identity. She was just acting. I never liked him. Except that girl, but she still has her thing. You're right. Those were among the many whispers they said. Issei could hear everything, and when he heard the last few he got upset. Issei. Hey, stop talking nonsense. And the power you say doesn't belong to those two brats. It belongs to Kurama. Kushina. So you work for that beast. Naruto. Don't call it that. He is not a monster. Lemma. I will make you obedient so that you don't respond like that. Itachi. Hinata, come here. Don't hang out with them. Plus you have a commitment. Hinata. And I refused such a commitment. And I will never leave my friend and the person who supports me the most. Minato. You think you're brave just because that monster is on your side, right? That's why you were acting all arrogant before. Issei. Don't bring her into this. And she's not a monster, she has a name, it's Kaguya. The good person who suffered a lot. Shut up, monster. Kaguya. I told you, Issei. Issei. You know I always knew that. I always get enemies no matter where I go, I always have them. Laughing a little. Kaguya found it strange to act like this despite the situation they are in. Issei. Don't make that face. Don't believe everything they say. Besides, you are not a monster, you are a beautiful woman. Kaguya did not know what to say to such words, since she had not heard them for a long time. Issei turned around and saw everyone present. Issei. I'll leave here so no one gets hurt. Minato. You won't get out of here alive. Here you die. And then they will be ours. We are more than them. Also our cages have already recovered their power. Come on. Issei. Girls, get out of here. See you in the valley of the end. Hinata. But. Issei. Please. Kaguya, you will leave, right? Kaguya. You won't come back. Issei. Sure. Naruto, sorry for what I will do to your parents. Naruto. They are not my parents. You are my family. Approaching Issei and giving him a kiss that surprised him. Naruto. We'll talk about it later. Activating Kurama mode and leaving the place with the other two. Issei. I didn't see that coming. But that's how she is. Changing his smile to a serious face and turning around where everyone could see him. Some felt chills seeing that. Issei blinked once and when he opened his eyes, everyone was surprised to see a Sharingan and a Rinnegan. Issei. It's the first time I use this. And I know the people who said those words. I will make them suffer for what I said. Someone was about to say something, but Issei had moved quickly, telling someone's head. When the others saw that, they went on the attack. Some stayed behind preparing their most powerful jutsus. Issei jumped and fell, creating a large earthquake that unnerved several people. Issei. Shinra Tensei. Throwing like 100 of the ninjas away from there. Then Issei made seals with his hand, summoning the dog with 4 heads. Issei sent him to attack. Minato threw several of his kunai at Issei and began to teleport. When he was about to attack Issei by the sword with a Rasengan, Issei deflected the attack and kicked him in the stomach. Issei. You think I don't know how you fight? Besides, creating his own Rasengan only blood red. Issei. Also, putting the fire element in it. Seeing that, Minato was surprised since he had not yet reached that level. Issei launched the attack that Minato deflected, but he didn't tell that the attack hit other people. Upon impact, a fire tornado was created. Several people were surprised and scared to see such a thing when they saw that. Issei. You know Kaguya had compassion for you since she put you in a happy place. But I'm not like her. More when I get angry. I'm going against one who talked about doing something to Naruto. Hitting him in the face that destroyed him. You are one of us, but you betrayed us. Issei. I didn't betray anyone. I didn't say anything and went to attack, activating the doors to have more power. Issei only parried each attack without much difficulty. Issei. I liked you. Picking him in the ribs and then one in the face that left him unconscious. Several ninjas went to attack. Issei. We have to finish this. Letting out a sigh. And turning off his eyes. The others saw that, thinking that he had already run out of chakra. But they saw how Issei began to make seals with his hands and how black lines appeared on his face. When everyone saw that, they were surprised since they knew that only one person could do it. The previous Hokages were not resurrected here in case you ask. Issei. Sent Mokutan. Shinsuke Senju. Everyone saw a big Buddha with hundreds of hands coming out. At that point the hands began to attack everyone present. Some tried to defend themselves, but it was of little use as each attack was very powerful. After a few seconds Issei stopped attacking and saw several with many injuries. He didn't kill them since he noticed that some of them were just following orders. At that he deactivated his wise mode and walked a little until he reached Minato, who was the most hurt. Issei. Listen to me carefully. I didn't kill you just because I'm not like you. Besides, it's not my duty. Minato. Damn monster. You teamed up with Orochimaru to get that power. Issei. I earned it with a lot of sweat, but you know it's the first time I've used it. Since I wanted to get this over with quickly. Minato. I'll kill you. Issei. We'll see about that. Releasing Minato and starting to walk in the middle of the ninjas. He could hear moans of pain, but he didn't care. Chapter 174. The three women had arrived at their destination and were waiting. They talked a little to get to know each other, and 10 minutes later Issei arrived. Issei. I see you guys get along well. Upon hearing Issei's voice the three turned around and saw him sitting on a rock. They quickly went down and looked all over his body looking for any wounds but nothing. Issei. They're done. Hinata. What happened? Since he doesn't have any injuries. Issei. We talked a little and in the end nothing bad happened. The problem is that I won't be able to go to their village anymore. Ha ha ha. Naruto. And you say it so calmly. Issei. Well, that doesn't matter. Naruto. I see. Now that I remember, you said you had a daughter, you never told us that. Hearing that, Hinata was surprised and saw Issei. Issei. Yes, her name is Eri. Taking a photo of her from a pocket dimension. When the three saw the photo, they couldn't help but smile because of how cute it was. Also more with his Halloween costume. Issei. The truth is, she is not my biological daughter, but I love her as if she were mine. At that I take a seat on the floor. Issei. Take a seat, it's time to talk a little. The three nodded and sat down looking at Issei. Issei. Well, from where she started. Kaguya. From the beginning. Issei. It's a lot but it's okay. Letting out a sigh and beginning to tell her life story. From when he was very young and how they compared him to his brothers to how he was improving and how he met all the girls. They were surprised by his adventures, even more to know that he fought with an army of giants alone without stopping. Then that he continued and as he defeated several dragons. And how he traveled to various dimensions as a favor from someone. But they were still surprised to hear that Issei destroyed a planet. Naruto. Wait, it's a lot to process. Issei. Well, I'm going to finish. Then the girl sent me on vacation to a place, but the truth is I'm not someone who likes to be still, and that's how I came here. And I met you although it was at a bad time. Naruto. The truth doesn't matter, thanks to that I was able to meet you. Kaguya, you have had so many adventures and done so many things. Because you haven't fallen due to so much pressure. Issei. I told you. I have people to take care of, I can't afford to do that. Hinata. How did you feel when you killed your brother? Issei. Although we never got along, I had a little appreciation for him. The power consumed him. Kaguya. That's why you told me the above. Issei. Yes. I kept the promise I made to Nagato. Although not completely since there will always be wars, but this is better than nothing. Naruto. That means. Issei. I have to go home. Even if you don't believe it, I miss my family, it's been 8 years since I've seen them. Besides, first I have to go see a friend. Naruto. If you go, I'll go with you. Hinata. Me too. Issei. You guys. Naruto. Don't go saying we belong here. Since we were never loved. And if so, it is only because of our power of body. Hinata. You are special to us. Issei. If that is your decision, I can't refuse. They were both happy to hear that and threw themselves at Issei, giving him a hug. After a few seconds they separated. Issei. And your Kaguya, what will you do from now on? Since you are free. Kaguya. I'll go with you. Besides, if I stay, I'll kill everyone. Issei. You're right. Alright. But first I'll go visit a friend and you two go get your things. And what will you do, Kaguya? Kaguya. I'll go explore a little, I want to see the changes. Issei. Use a jutsu to hide your appearance or else you will attract a lot of attention. She just nodded. After that Issei stood up and called Tsukuyomi. As he did so, the portal opened, surprising Naruto and Hinata. Issei came in and promised to come back. Tsukuyomi. How did it go? Issei. You know how. Tsukuyomi. I wanted to hear it from you. But hey, you made a lot of enemies. Issei. It wasn't my fault, they are like that. Tsukuyomi. I know. Issei. I know it's a lot to ask, but could you tell me how Mocha is doing? Tsukuyomi. I was watching her and well. She hasn't left her room since you left. And she doesn't talk to anyone. She's gotten very sick and doesn't even drink the blood you left her. Issei. I see. I have to talk to her. Tsukuyomi nodded and opened the portal. Issei gave her a smile and that went in. When she left it she was in Mocha's room. Issei noticed that it was dark and there was a big mess. He looked at the bed and noticed Mocha's dark circles under her eyes and he felt bad seeing that. He took a chair and sat near her and took her hand. An hour passed until she woke up and when she opened her eyes she saw Issei, but she thought it was an illusion. Mocha. Don't leave me, Issei. I miss you. Releasing a tear. Issei approached her and wiped away that tear. Issei. Sorry, Mocha. I hurt you a lot. Hearing that voice of hers, she opened her eyes a little more and was surprised to see Issei there. She wanted to get up but she didn't have the strength. Issei stopped her. Issei. Wait, yes. She was about to get up but she stopped him. Mocha. Don't go. Issei. I'll be back, I promise. She hesitated for a few seconds but then she let go and Issei went to her kitchen and grabbed a glass. She cut her hand a little and let the blood fall from it. Then he came back and helped her up so she could drink it. Issei. Mocha, how long have you been like this? Mocha. Since you left. I looked for you but nothing went by for 2 months without seeing you. Don't go like that. Issei. Forgive me, Mocha. I made you suffer. Mocha. But now you're here. Giving him a small smile. Issei laid her down and asked her to sleep to regain strength. 2 days passed where Issei did not move from the place and little by little Mocha recovered her color and her mood. Until she was like before. Issei. You're better. Mocha. Like never before. Well, what will we do now? Issei. Mocha, I have to talk to you. At that point she told him that she wasn't from there and everything. Mocha. I see, but I'll go with you. Issei. I live with humans and you don't like them. Mocha. I'll be fine and I'll be with you. And I know I can get along with others. I just want to be with you. Taking Issei's arm. He just stroked his head and accepted. After that he called Tsukuyomi and they both left. Mocha was surprised to see her but she gave her a smile. Issei. Wait here, yes. I'll go find someone else, I have a bad feeling. Mocha just nodded. Tsukuyomi opened the portal with a big smile. Issei thought that was strange but she put it aside. Appearing on the other side she was surprised as she saw Naruto in Kurama's head. Issei just let out a sigh as he understood why Tsukuyomi was laughing. Without wasting time he jumped, appearing behind her. Then she hit him on the head. When she turned around, she was scared to see Issei with his arms crossed. Issei. Well. Naruto. Well, they kept bothering me and well I wanted to scare them and it worked, haha. Issei just let out another sigh. Issei. How much time passed? Naruto. 2 weeks. Hinata beat up her father and her council members since they kept bothering her and Kaguya, well, she hurt several men for trying to go too far since she only hit her horns. Issei. I see. Call them, yes. Naruto nodded and Issei left there. Minutes later the 3 of them were arriving at Issei. And when they saw him they hugged him. Issei. They're ready. Naruto. Of course, Dadabayo. Issei. I haven't heard that from you in years. Naruto. It's just that when I'm happy it comes out. Issei. I see, and you? Hinata. I'm fine, I was finally able to say what I wanted. Kaguya. Tell me about some people that no one will miss. Issei better not say anything and called his friend and with that the 4 of them left. When they appeared there they were surprised at the place and seeing Tsukuyomi. And Mocha. After a long talk to get together, the group decided to leave. Issei. So long. Putting on a smile and appearing in the yard of her house. Chapter 175. Issei without wasting time opened the door that was there and she entered with a big smile. Issei. I'm back. She said it shouting and to her surprise she was happy since everyone was there. Her daughter, seeing him, put on a big smile and ran to Issei. Issei bent down to take her in his arms. Iri. 2-chan, I missed you a lot. Issei. Me too, daughter. It was so long. Iri was happy to see him again as she looked at the 4 women and gave them a big smile which they liked to see. After that Issei greeted all the girls who happily accepted since they had not seen him for a while. Iri. 2-chan, she is like me. Pointing at Kaguya since she didn't hide her appearance. Iri approached Griselda and she nodded and removed the spell to hide it from her. Iri. Yours are very cute. Kaguya. It's the first time they've told me that. Yours is also very nice. Giving the girl a small smile. Iri. You guys will be my bad guys too. She said it with great joy. When the 4 saw that, they just nodded since they liked it a lot. Naruto. You are very cute. Giving him a big hug. Enterprise. Issei, you spent so much time outside. Issei. First I went to a somewhat quiet place where I was in an academy. But. Enemu? You were bored. Issei. A bit like that, he decided to go somewhere else and that was where he met Naruto, Hinata and Kaguya. Isaka. What did you do? Issei, noticing so many looks, knew what to say, so he made the best decision. Issei. Eri, Liza want to go get ice cream. Upon hearing that, both of them nodded and Issei took them by the hand, and that's how the three of them left. Serafal. He escaped. Excuse me, could you tell us how much happened there? Naruto. Sure, but it will be a bit long. Rafia. I'll go get something to drink. Going to the kitchen. After a few minutes I returned with everything ready. Naruto. It was 8 years that passed in the place where he was. Arena. That was a long time. Hinata. But he didn't change anything since we spent 4 years without seeing him and he surprised us. Naruto. Also he was our teacher for a while. He was the best of all. Brunhold. That's new Issei being a teacher. Hinata. He helped us a lot. Roswis. What he did for so long there. Naruto. The truth is I don't know much since he didn't tell us. But he is very strong, he beat us too without much difficulty. Aphrodite. There are few of us who fought against him and well, they didn't do so well. Alice. Don't make me remember that. Mocha. Wow, that's a lot and how dangerous it was. Eride. And how he behaved in your world. Mocha. He saved me from someone. Plus he was my first friend since no one wanted to be. Who knew? And that. Mocha. Several were afraid of me since I'm a vampire. Serafal. Wow, that's great. Mocha. Issei always gave me his blood, it's delicious. Athena. But his blood is poisonous. Mocha. He told me and when I wanted him to tell him or else he would die. Griselda. I see. You know there is something we haven't done. Claire. And that would be. Griselda. We missed 8 years of Issei's life and his birthday boy we have to have a party. Lefei. You know that Issei is not one for parties. Griselda. So what do we do? Isaka. Just for us all to be together is enough. Ingvald. There is something Issei needs. Gabriel. And that would be. Ingvald. A surname. Since you know he doesn't have one. And it would be nice if you had one. Serafal. That's not a bad idea. I think Issei Citri would look good on him. Ingvald. Issei Leviathan suits him better. Rafia. Sounds better Issei Lucifuge. Arena. Since he is my childhood friend, I like Issei Shidu better. Lefei. If so, I am also his childhood friend. So Issei Pendragon suits him better. Kaguya. I am a goddess so my last name suits her better and sounds better and it would be Issei Otsutsuki. Office. If so am I and I would be Issei Arabras. Baruko. It's better Issei Senju. Mocha. Maybe Issei Akashiya. Most of them started giving their last names, saying it would fit Issei better. Serafal. This way we won't get anywhere. I never thought I'd say this but. Enemu. I know what you're going to say and I'm for it. Claire. What will it be? Serafal. A battle between all of them and the winner will give her last name to Issei. Naruto. I'm going to win. Isaka. Me too. Eride. Wait, you and Kunu are mother and daughter so you can help each other. Kunu. It's something of an advantage. Hinata. We have to win Naruto. Naruto. I thought you would give him your last name. Hinata. I left it before I came, now I'm just Senju. Naruto. Then we have to win. Gabriel. This won't be so easy but I won't give up. Alice. When would it be? Serafal. In 3 days. Naruto. Don't use that skill Kaguya, it would be cheating. Kaguya. Good that way it will be more fun. After that everyone left the train since they wanted to win. Issei was sitting on a bench next to the two girls until she felt a chill. Issei. Something bad is about to happen. Eri. Something's wrong. Issei. Nothing important. Hey Eri, tell me what date we are on. Eri. It's December 20th because. Issei. Seriously, that's great, Christmas is almost here. It's the first time I'll spend it with my family. Liza. What will we do on Ichan? Issei. A big dinner and I'll invite some friends. And then the fireworks. Eri. Sounds great. Issei. There is no time to waste. Let's go to the mall. Raising his fist just like the two girls. After a few minutes the three were walking through the mall and Issei noticed several families buying gifts from him. Issei was about to say something until he saw someone. When she saw him, she was surprised since she had not seen him for a long time. Asami. Issei, long time no see. Issei. More than you think. Eri. Tu-chan, who is she? Hearing how she called him, Asami widened his eyes. Asami. Like. Issei. Eri, this is Asami Haidu, an acquaintance. Eri. Nice to meet you Oni-chan. Asami. I say the same. Liza. A pleasure too. Oni-chan, we have to go, there are many things to look for. Issei. It's true and we don't have much time. It was nice to see you Asami. Going on with both girls. They spent the entire afternoon buying more Issei gifts for all the girls, but she didn't care. She also made him happy since it was the first time she would give a gift. When finished, he puts them all in his bracelet and returns to his house. When he arrived he saw most of the girls tired and when he asked she did not receive an answer. Issei. Are you sure? Prince. Sure and tell me how it went. Liza. It was great. We did many things. Eri. It's been a while since I went out with Tu-chan. Issei. Well you two go to sleep, it's late. They both nodded and went to their room. Issei. I'll go rest too, it's been a long day. The girls just gave him a smile and said goodbye to Issei and he went to his room. Enterprise. Almost figured it out. Kuroka. I think we'll go in a lot. The others nodded and also went to rest. For those who don't know who the women are so far, here is a list. Isaka. Kunu, Lefei, Kuroka, Office, Seraphol, Enemu, Gabriel, Griselda, Graphia, Irina, Aride, Aphrodite, Athena, Ingvald, Alicia Nix, Aviana, Astrid, Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, Buchan, Roswis, Benzaitan, Enterprise, Belfast, Prince, Claire, Ronald, Kian Renksu, Najire, Mocha Misako, Naruto, Tanaya, Kaguya. Some don't have a last name so you make up one for them. You decide which last name suits you best. Or you can also give me an option. It must be a worthy surname for the most powerful being, hahaha. I await your responses so I can create the new chapter. Thanks for the support. Chapter 176. Issei and the girls were in the living room talking about trivial things while the girls were at the academy. Kaguya. Issei, can I ask you a question? Issei. What's wrong? Kaguya. Because you have a seal on your right eye. The others, upon hearing that, stopped talking and looked at Issei. Naruto. I'll give you something. Irina. And don't lie to us. Issei. Nothing happened. And well, some things happened about the seal. Leviana. What happened? Issei. Naruto, you remember the attack on the village, right? Naruto. Yes, my mother forced us to go to training and then she told us that it was your idea. Issei. Well, that day I went to look for the leader and we talked a little and in the end we managed to reach an agreement. Alicia. What kind of agreement? Issei. I would end that war and take care of her friend. But she refused. She told me that she didn't have many days to live and I wanted to help her, but she refused again, so I didn't insist. Well, before Nagato died she gave me this. Removing the seal and showing her Rinnegan. When the girls saw that, Naruto and Hinata were more surprised to see such ninjutsu. Hinata. That's right. Issei. That's right, but I've only used it once. I'm not used to it. I put the seal on because they didn't want to be seen like that. Plus it would attract a lot of attention. Enemu? I understand. And you're right, many would ask about that. Naruto. But because only one. At that Issei activated the Sharingan and again they were surprised to see it. Issei. The truth is that I realized this a little late and it gave me someone to try to help. Kaguya. You have it in the mature state of it. At that Issei blinked and the Manjikyu Sharingan activated. Hinata. Wait, how did that happen? From how I read in a book to get that. Issei. I didn't lose anything important in case you were wondering. Trained to your limit. But I couldn't use it much or else I would go blind. Isaka. So what did you do? Issei. A man named Danzo had the other one and before he died he took it from him. You know, it was kind of difficult to do surgery myself. Lefei. Wait, and how do you know about that? Issei. I know a little bit of medical jutsu. At that Issei puts on the seal again. Mocha. What more surprises do you have for us, Issei? Issei. That's all. Sure, before I forget it. Taking out 5 scrolls from her bracelet and giving one to Naruto, Hinata, Kuroka, Kunu and Yusaka. Opening it, Naruto was surprised since it was how she learns the Rasengan. Naruto. How did you get it? So the Hokage only showed it to his children and his teacher. Issei. On one of my trips I happened to see a fight and one of them was a man with long white hair. I was going to go help but I saw that he uses that and I was surprised and well what to try. Brenthold. How long did it take you? Issei. A month I think. I had to try a few things until I had it complete and wrote it for you. When you master it, I will teach you this. Created a Rasengan with fire element. Everyone was surprised when they saw him because he radiated a lot of power. At that Issei disappeared him. Issei. I wish you luck. More to you 3. The 5 nodded with a big smile since they wanted to learn that. Issei. Today I will go for the girls, the truth is I have never gone for them. Seraphol. That's good, well, we have something to do. Issei. Seriously, all together. Belfast. That's how things are, Issei. Girl things. Issei. I see. And remember, tomorrow we will have a party since it is the 24th. I already invited the leaders and more people. Gabriel. Don't worry, we'll be here. Issei. Okay. Well, I'll go change and then I'll go to the underworld. Kian Renksu. And what will you do next? Issei. I'll take a good ride if they want. Najire. If they're with you, of course they'll like it. After that Issei went to the room and minutes later he was ready and Seraphol sent him to the underworld. At that point they gathered and all teleported to the battlefield. Most of them were surprised to see the place since it had all types of terrain. Seraphol. I made it this way so that everyone can fight in their areas. Mocha. I'm ready. Well, better said, we are. Misako, are you ready? That's when the necklace shines. Misako. I didn't feel like fighting, but I'll show who's boss. Mocha. Don't say that, you're happy too. Misako didn't say anything and then they both changed places. Yukin. It's the first time I've seen you in that state. Misako. I'm ready. At that Serafal gave the signal to start and everyone went to the places where they could fight the most. Meanwhile Issei walked through the city and some recognized him and greeted him, he happily returned the greeting. Some women fainted when they saw his smile. When they arrived at the academy, both girls came out and were surprised and happy to see Issei. Iri. Tu-chan. Liza. Ani-chan. Both running towards Issei and giving him a hug. Iri. It's your first time coming. Issei. I had some time and I wanted to spend it with you. And tell me you have homework. Liza. Yes, but we already did them, it wasn't that difficult. Issei. I'm glad, then let's walk a little and then have dinner. The girls had something to do. Iri. Great, let's go. At that they both took Issei's hand and left. A few hours of fun later the three of them were returning to the house. Issei. And what did you think of this day? Iri. As always, very funny. Liza. With you the fun is never lacking. How do you come up with those ideas? Issei. Hahaha now. I like fun. They went to the living room and sat down. Issei. You know I had fun and everything, but I noticed something in you too. Iri. What would it be? Issei. Who put that spell on them? When they heard that, they both got nervous. Issei noticed that. At that she began to make seals and seconds later she destroyed both of their spells. Issei. Now you can tell me. Nothing bad will happen to them anymore. Iri. It's because of school. Issei. Someone is bothering you. Liza. None of that, we get along with everyone. It's because of the teacher. Issei. Which she did. Iri. He put this spell on the whole class so that no one would talk and if we did we would die. So she told us. Issei. Since when is this happening? Liza. A week ago. The previous teacher left and the current one arrived. Issei was talking calmly with them but inside he was very upset. Issei. And why does she do that? Iri. It's for his better brother. She told us that we girls would be her slaves. She shed a tear as she said that as she reminded him of her past. Seeing that, Issei could only clench his fists because of how upset she was. Even blood came out from the force she did since he also saw Liza crying. Issei. None of that will happen, I promise you both. Iri. What will you do Tu-chan? Issei. I'll talk to your moms. Since you went on vacation today after the party tomorrow we will go on vacation, you said yes. Upon hearing that, they wiped their tears and smiled knowing that. Issei. So don't worry and go rest, tomorrow will be a long day. They both gave Issei a kiss on the cheek and quickly went to her room to rest. They were both happy because they were able to take that weight off their shoulders. Issei. It must have been a big spell for the girls not to have noticed. It must be that teacher's specialty. At that she got up from the couch and went to the patio. Issei. I will leave it to them since if I go I will kill that woman in the worst possible way and her family. Having a serious face. Minutes later she entered the house and went to the living room to read a book and wait for the girls. Chapter 177. Meanwhile, some girls had already given up and could no longer keep up with the majority. Naruto. I didn't think they would be so strong. Hinata, you see someone? Hinata. No, and I don't like that, so it's pending. They both continued on their way until Hinata shouted for them to jump as a dragon shot fell near them. And it was Claire with the gauntlet. Claire. She was close. If not for you, Hinata. Naruto. We are going to beat you. Claire. I wasn't wasting my time, you know. Greg, are you ready? Greg. As always, mate. Claire. Balance breaker. Activating the armor, both girls were surprised since it was the first time they had seen it. Claire. Office was worth the pain. Going to attack Naruto. Meanwhile elsewhere there was a fight between goddesses. Alicia was fighting Amaterasu. Amaterasu? You're not doing bad at all. Alicia. That's what I'm saying, I didn't think you'd be this strong. Amaterasu? I didn't waste my time. Going to attack with sword in hand. And that Alice created a sword of darkness. Alicia. I didn't waste my time either. Clashing swords at great speed. Serafal was fighting Gabriel and Penemu. Gabriel. Since we met Issei we have not fought again to date. Penemu. It's a great occasion and I have to show off my new skills. Serafal. We'll see about that. The three of them going on the attack. And so it was in several places. Where you could hear many explosions and shots from some ships until after a few hours everyone was on the ground tired. Kaguya. They're not as weak as I thought. Misako. I say the same, they are strong. Kyanrenksu. So no one won. Leviana. What will we do? Najire. How about we all think together? In the end, in the future we will all have that last name. Broswis. You're right, so which one do we give him? They all started thinking about that until the same idea came to them. It was a new day and it was already the 24th. Issei didn't sleep as she stayed preparing the entire house with decorations. That's when she sees the girls arrive. Issei. Good morning. I noticed them a little tired. Griselda. We had a great battle looking for a gift for you. Issei. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Brindled. Even if you don't believe it, what he says cost us is true. Issei. I need to talk to all of you. Having a serious face. Seeing that, they also became serious since they rarely see Issei like this. Then everyone went to the living room. Issei. Tell me the name of Eri and Liza's teacher. Serafal. Emilia belongs to one of the pillars of the underworld because. Issei. That woman put a spell on all the children. Prince. Don't tell me what. Issei. That's right, yesterday I realized it and I asked them why. Who knew? Tell us why she did it. Issei. They told me that the teacher wants all the girls to be her younger brother's slaves. Serafal. That woman has to be crazy if she does, she won't know what I'm capable of. Issei. Tell me why you guys didn't realize that. Serafal. That family's specialty is occult spells. In war they used spells to trap our enemies and extract information. That's why they are proud to have that power. Issei. And you Kaguya and Naruto. Naruto. I'm trying to improve with the seals, but I'm still at a low level. Kaguya. Stamps are not my thing, I never paid attention to them, but I will start practicing for the future. Issei. Girls, the truth is I wanted to go and kill that whole family if possible. Because if the two brothers are like that, I don't want to know what their parents are capable of. That's why I want you to take care of it while I take the girls on vacation. Getting up and bowing. They were surprised to see that. Office. Issei, you don't have to do that. Of course we will, you must know that they are also our family. Claire. I don't want them to suffer. Kan Renksu. I don't want my daughter and little sister to suffer again. Lefei. You take them out to have fun and we'll take care of it. Serafal. Not even the council will dare stop me in this situation. Issei. Thank you, I trust you. Giving them a smile. Minutes later the girls were coming down and the girls acted as usual even though inside they were very angry. The girls were surprised when they saw the decorations. Issei. It took me some time but I finished on time. Eri. Tu-chan, you are amazing. Issei. Still missing. Pulling out a star and taking both girls to the tree. But that he takes both girls and puts them on his shoulders. They both put the star. Issei. Good. I'm going to go prepare dinner today, many people will come. Rafia. Don't worry, we'll take care of it, you go and have fun with the girls. Isaka. They like what we're doing. Eri. What will it be? Astrid. A surprise. Issei. Go change. They both nodded and went to their room. Issei. Thank you for acting as always. Athena. We won't let this day be ruined. Ingvald. You go and come back in the afternoon. Minutes later both girls came down with a backpack. Issei took them both and they left the house. All the girls made dinner and also prepared a plan against the teacher and family. Issei. They brought their suits. Eri. Yes, I hope you like them. Issei. They'll be surprised, you'll see. Well, let's go have breakfast and then see what to do. They just nodded and left. Hours passed and Issei's guests and the girls were arriving at the house being the leaders and family and friends. Surzich. And where is the host? Serafal. She went out with the girls. Azazel. It's a great banquet. They talked for a long time until they saw Issei enter with a Santa suit and her white beard. Everyone was surprised when they saw it and laughed a little at the outfit. Issei. I'm not coming alone. That's when both girls entered. Most of those present were already fainting from so much tenderness. Some couldn't help themselves and fell to the ground. Serafal, without wasting time using a little magic, changed his outfit to a Santa one and went to both girls to take a photo with them. Serafal. They look beautiful. Eri. Thank you, it was Tu-chan's idea. They like. Claire. Of course. Liza. Wani-chan. Going to her and giving her a hug. Seconds later all the girls had a Santa suit on as they wanted a photo with the girls in Issei. Some leaders couldn't hold out and also took a photo with them. Astrid. Daughter, come, I want to introduce you to someone. Eri turned around and went to her. And she saw a tall man and a very beautiful woman and even an old man with his wife. Astrid. Daughter, he is my father and my mother and he is my grandfather and grandmother. Eri was surprised to see them. Auden. You are very pretty, have your gift. Taking a gift from a pocket dimension. Eri. Thank you. Astrid. Tell him great-grandfather. And to my parents Aji-san and Aba-chan. Or. You are my first granddaughter, you will be very strong in the future since you have great parents. Eri. Thank you Aji-san. Giving him a big smile that Thor couldn't help but smile as he reminded him of his daughter when he was little. Brenthold. I'll be watching you, old man. Roswis. I also already know what you are like. Auden. Hey, it's my family. Roswis. Seeing you it's hard to believe. You should know that she is also my daughter. So you'll see me upset. Auden could only swallow hard upon hearing that. At that point, most of the girls introduced their daughter and little sister to their relatives. And so the night passed where there was only laughter and celebrations. In the early morning everyone went to rest, promising to return for the last day of the year. The girls went to bed early as they couldn't take it anymore. But they left happy as they got to know more family members. Later Issei and the girls were in front of the door ready to leave. Arena. And where will he go? Issei. To Disneyland. Eerie. I saw on TV that it is a beautiful place. Liza. With a lot of games it will be great. Claire. Take care. We have something to do but later we will all go yes. They just nodded and went to say goodbye to all the girls just like Issei. Then they got into the taxi and left. Alright. Because of the rush we forgot to tell Issei about her last name. Ben Zayton. It will be for when I return. Tsukuyomi. Because of the news you gave us, we left it aside. Serafal. Let's go right now, the faster the better. Those children must still be suffering too. Enterprise. It's a good thing Issei left this to us. Belfast. If he had done it, he might have killed half the underworld since that family might have asked for support. Office. Let's go. Creating a dimensional gap and having a very serious face since they hurt his family. At that, everyone began to enter the dimensional gap with a serious face since they wanted to finish it. Chapter 178. Upon reaching the underworld, the girls without wasting time headed to their destination. Najir. And what's the plan? Serafal. None of us will go straight to them. But first. The office. I'll take care of it. Creating a great barrier to not attract too much attention. Those inside it could not feel it as it was very strong. Kan Rinksu. Let's go. The others didn't say anything and started walking to the big mansion. When the den saw them, they were surprised to see so many beauties. Excuse me ladies but you want something. Serafal. I want to see the patriarchs. You have a meeting with him. Serafal. Tell him it's important. That's an order. Releasing a bit of his killer instinct since he had no time for games. Sorry but no. Kaguya couldn't stand this talk anymore and approached them both. When they saw them, they didn't know what to say about such beauty. But she grabbed them by the neck and killed them without much difficulty. Kaguya. Nobody leaves here. We better go ourselves. The others nodded and then they blew up the door, drawing the attention of both the patriarchs and the family and the guards. Not 2 minutes passed and they already had all the girls surrounded. What is offered to the Leviathan in my house? Serafal. I came to solve some problems. With your daughter and son. What do you have against them? As far as we know they haven't done anything. Alice. Don't say stupid things. You can. No one leaves here alive. Are you threatening us? They know that if the council finds out about this things will go badly for them. Enemu. Issei killed them once. But this time we can get rid of those old men who only cause problems. You must know that I have many guards under my command. Also because they come to attack me. Isaka. Your daughter hurt my daughter and little sister. Plus the kids in her class. They come for such stupidity. They are snot. He didn't finish as Grafia had created an ice stake near him. Grafia. Don't say such nonsense. You think we're afraid of them? It's not that big of a deal. Griselda. You think so? Taking his sword out of its sheath. Don't kill them, just leave them in bad condition and then they can do whatever they want. Upon hearing this, the soldiers became excited and went to attack. Then that office created several snakes to end it as quickly as possible. Naruto launched several jutsus. And Hinata left them immobile with his techniques. The ones who had the least mercy were Alicia, Yukon, Brunald and Prince. Since they get angry very easily when it comes to their family. Not even 5 minutes passed when all the guards were dead and the patriarchs and family were scared. The office without wasting time took Emilia by the neck and showed her empty gaze. The office. How dare you hurt my daughter? Emilia. They're just cattle. Upon hearing that, Office became more upset and tightened her grip on her. He was about to kill her, but Kaguya stopped her. Kaguya. Wait, that will be very easy. Leave it to me. The Office just nodded and let her go. Emilia just coughed as she couldn't breathe. She was about to say something about herself, but Kaguya grabbed her hair and lifted her up and put her in a jingetsu. The family only heard her screams of pain. Kan Renksu. It's a good skill. But now it's my turn. Where is the? Seeing the family until he saw the brother. At that point he went against him and hit him hard in the face, knocking out some of his teeth. He was about to say something, but she created a holy sword and he inserted it into her crotch. Kan Renksu. How dare you put your dirty eyes on my daughter and little sister. I won't let you die so easily you know. Naruto. I'll help you make sure that doesn't happen. Gabriel, Griselda and Arena just looked away as they don't want to see that. But they won't stop them either since they are angry for what they did. Hiroka approached the boy and hit him several times, breaking some of his ribs. Seeing that, the parents were going to attack, but Athena had them both and they couldn't escape. Naruto approached him and used medical judo to heal him. Enterprise approached him with a serious face and took out his bow and shot several arrows into his legs. No more, please. I will not do. Lefei. And you think you will have the option to do it again. Casting a lightning spell on her since she was upset by what they did. While Emilia had already woken up, scared by everything she saw. She couldn't say anything as Eride approached her and cut off one of her arms. Emilia could only scream in pain. Misako approached her and kicked her. Misako. Shut up and be thankful that I'm not going to kill you. Emilia was barely getting up. Emilia. Keep going. Hinata. I don't like violence, but I hate it when they hurt a few more children if they are your family. Healing the wounds she had. At the end of it she turned around and Tsukuyomi approached her. Minutes passed and only some screams could be heard from both the brothers and the parents. Then they left the house and they all used a skill and destroyed the entire mansion completely without leaving anything. At that office deactivated the barrier and opened a dimensional gap where everyone went to the house. Gabriel. The truth is they exaggerated a little. Enemu. It may be like that, but they deserved it. Mocha. They hurt our girls. Gabriel. And what will happen now? Serafal. Act as always and wait for the news they will give us shortly. Since they will quickly realize their absence. Claire. Now that it's all over I'll take a long sleep. Since I haven't slept for 2 days. Belfast. First the fight and then the party and finally this. It was 3 long days. The others nodded since he was right. When they got home, most of them went to sleep and the rest went to do their work since they had a lot to do. Almost 2 days passed and Issei and company arrived at their destination. They took a taxi to their destination. When they arrived, both girls were surprised by the place and were happy at how great it looked. Issei could see her joy, so she took his hands and led them to the place where they were going to stay. Being the highest hotel room so that they could see from the top. Iri. 2-chan, look at this, everyone looks very small from here and the place is very big. Liza. Where will we go first? Issei. Don't be in a hurry and we have time. And where they want to go. They both looked at each other and nodded. Iri Liza. To the carousel. Issei just nodded and took both of their hands and led them to the place. While they were walking, Issei drew the attention of the young girls more when they saw him with 2 pretty girls. Issei didn't take that into account since she just wanted to see both of their smiles. When they arrived at their destination they quickly boarded whatever they wanted since Issei bought everything VIP. While on the other side near where Issei was. That aura. I finally find you Issei. We have scores to settle. Forming a smile and going to look for Issei. Chapter 179. Issei just watched with the girls smiling and every time they looked at Issei they waved and he waved back. A few seconds passed and then someone touched her shoulder. Hello Issei, long time no see. Issei. More than you think and what you do here Lucina. If you come to cause problems, it won't go very well for you, especially now. Lucina. Calm down, I won't do anything like that and I'm surprised you still remember my name. Issei. I never forget the people who tried to hurt my loved ones. Lucina. I see. Issei. And fine if you don't come to cause trouble, what are you looking for? She was talking to him without seeing him since she had her eyes on the place where the girls were. Lucina. I haven't seen you in a while and I was surprised to see your aura nearby, so I came to see you. You know I was looking for you but nothing. Issei. I've been a little busy. Lucina. And tell me what you're doing in this childish place. Issei. My daughter and my little sister wanted to come so I brought them. Lucina. You already have a daughter. Wow you don't waste your time. Issei. Leaving that aside, if you're around here, it's not for a reason. What will you do? Lucina. The truth is, I was just walking around, I don't follow anyone's orders. Issei. And from Rizavam. Lucina. Less of that old man. I send myself alone. Issei. I see. Maybe you don't get tired of attacking innocent people. Lucina. I don't know about them and for my part I only fight with strong people and nothing else. Issei. You are just like Vali. Lucina. Don't compare me to that show-off. I'm much better than him. Also, you already know that the Gremory group joined the old no. Issei. Just when I returned from my trip they told me. I could see Kuroka's sadness, but she knew how to move forward since the girls helped her. Lucina. Because I know your parents too. And so you know, investigate yourself. It wasn't so easy you know the knowledge of your past. Issei. I see. They had to join that group to avenge their son. Lucina. You talk about your older brother. Because you yourself killed him. Issei. He wished it that way. Lucina. The old man gave them both power and made them younger. It also gave the Gremory group a lot more power. They will come for you sooner or later. Issei. If you are ready for the consequences that come. I already did it once, a second time wouldn't be very difficult. Lucina. What do you mean by second time? Issei. Don't pay attention to that. And tell me why you tell me all this. Lucina. It's because I left that group not long ago. Issei. And the reason would be, Lucina. To be with you. Taking Issei's arm. Upon hearing that, he saw her for the first time with surprise. Issei. I have to see. Lucina. You should know that I am half dragon and not demon. Issei. And what does that have to do with it? Lucina. Easy. When a male defeats a female, both are destined to be together. Plus you're strong and I said I would only be with a man stronger than me. Not a smug weakling. Issei. But you barely know me like I do. Lucina. With time you will know more about me and I about you. Issei. You feel obligated to be with me. Lucina. Not at all. As I said before, I would only be with someone stronger than me. Also, hearing how the Grimoires insulted you made me a little angry and well, I hurt them a little. Issei. I see. We can start as friends. Lucina. I thought you would leave me here. Say yes. Issei. Don't exaggerate. It all starts with a friendship and without lies. Lucina. I will never lie to you. I already told you the most important thing I knew. Issei. I have a question. Lucina. And that would be. Issei. What does that man plan to do such a thing? So they want to destroy the current underworld and have it as it was years ago. Lucina. He plans to release the beast of apocalypse and take control of it. The truth is that he is someone very intelligent. Issei. I see. I have to think of a way to stop him before he does such a thing. Lucina. You must know that that beast is on the same level as Great Red. Issei. I don't care, I will give whatever it takes so that my family is not in danger. Lucina. I see. I was about to continue talking, but then both girls arrived and were surprised to see Lucina. Iri. 2chan, who is she? Issei. She is a friend, her name is Lucina Lucifer. Iri. Nice to meet you 1e-chan. Liza. My name is Liza Harvey and this is my sister Iri. Lucina just smiled at them since they were very cute and polite. Iri. Where are we going now? Issei. You decide, I'll take you. Liza. 1e-chan, you will come with us. Lucina. Sure, let's go. Both girls just nodded and started walking to their destination. The days passed and there was only fun for the four, but for Lucina, since she had not had so much fun in years. Furthermore, he became more and more fond of the girls, since they were very pretty in his opinion. Issei could only smile at such a situation since she liked to see that joy. Issei. And they had a good time. Iri. They were the best days. Liza. Then we have to go back to the others. Issei. I see. Well, we're leaving since tomorrow is the last day of the year and we have to be with the others. And tell me Lucina, are you coming? Lucina. Are you sure? You must know that I am not very fond of some. Issei. Okay. Although the time has been short, he has proven to be another person. Not the snooty one with bad vocabulary. Lucina. What a bad impression you had of me. Issei. I'm just telling the truth. But now you are someone with a calmer attitude. And you come well. Lucina. Okay, let's go. Issei. We were going by plane, but it would take a while to get there so we're going to fly. Lucina, you can take Liza. Lucina just nodded and with that they left the place and walked a little and not noticing anyone else. Both young people took out their wings and took flight. Iri. This is great. It's much better. Liza. It's been a while since I felt this breeze. They continued on their way without stopping. Issei could go much faster, but she didn't want to leave both girls behind. Hours passed and they finally reached their destination. Upon entering the door, Issei noticed the decorations and the girls there. Both girls went to them and gave them a hug. After that Lucina entered and the most surprised was Yukin. Issei. Don't worry. She won't do anything. Yukin. Issei, what happened these days? Issei. They will tell them. I'll take the girls to their room since it's late. Without waiting for a response he called the girls and left. Who knew? She ran away again. Reinhold. She always uses girls to escape. Someday that won't happen. Yukin. Well, what are you going to tell us? Lucina approached them and took a seat on a sofa and began to explain everything. The office. Well, she's right about that part about being a dragon. Amaterasu. We must be careful that Issei fights another dragon. Naruto. I can imagine what could happen. Serafal. Let's trust you. Just like Issei trusts you, but if you lie to us it won't go very well for you. Enterprise. We don't want them to hurt Issei or our daughter and little sister. Lucina. I won't do any of that. Plus I like the girls, they are fun. Aviana. I won't deny it since it's true. Griselda. Well, with that said, we have to prepare more things for the party. They all nodded and went to get ready. Yukin took Lucina to watch her. The day passed and the next day at night everyone was gathered again for the party. Midnight arrived and everyone clinked glasses. Girls' glasses with juice. Later they set off fireworks to celebrate the new year. Minutes passed and the guests left, leaving only the residents. Issei. You should go to sleep, it's late. Iri. You know 2chan, since I met you it has only been good times, thank you very much. Giving Issei a hug. Issei. You, just like the others, are the most important thing I have. She would give anything to see her smile. Liza. Ani-chan, when is your birthday so I can have something ready? Gabriel. It's easy, it's April 16. Issei. I thought they wouldn't know. And Zayton. How do you think we wouldn't know something so important? Iri. Liza, we have to prepare something, we still have time. Liza. If you have to think about something. Issei better not say anything. Later everyone went to rest until office as she was getting used to it. The only one who stayed awake was Issei, and then he called a person and was teleported. Issei. Long time no see. Tsukuyomi. I say the same and sorry for not going to both parties. The truth is I wanted to go. Issei. Okay. Approaching her and taking 2 slices of cake from her bracelet. Issei. Eat something with me, yes. Tsukuyomi just nodded with a smile and they both ate while talking about trivial things. Tsukuyomi. And tell me, Issei, are you ready for another adventure? Issei. I haven't had one for a while. Where will I go? Tsukuyomi. I don't know. Issei. And that. Tsukuyomi. There are places that I don't know and well I want you to look for information about that. Besides, I won't be able to see you while you're there. I will only be able to bring you. Issei. Okay, I'll go. I'll leave tomorrow so I'll be back soon. Tsukuyomi. Okay. Well, you should go back home, it's early. Issei. Time passes quickly. See you later. Tsukuyomi just nodded and sent Issei to his house. When he arrived he saw everyone having breakfast. Serafal. Where were you? Issei. I went to Tsukuyomi to give him some cake and talk a little. Griselda. You leave. Issei. I have to investigate some things. Iri. You'll be back quickly, right, 2-chan? Issei. Sure, don't worry. Isaka. Issei, before you leave, we have a surprise for you. At that Serafal stood up and gave Issei a certificate. When he read it, he was surprised since he had his name with his surname. Serafal. Igarashi, it means 1,000 storms since every place you go you cause one. Issei. I see. Athena. You don't like it. Issei. I love it. The truth is I had never thought of one. Thank you so much. Ingvald. We gave it to you since you need one. Just like Iri-chan. Brafia. Adamas must have one for his land in the underworld. Issei. And that. Serafal. You were given a territory long ago. Well, what do you plan to do with it? Issei. The truth is I wish that place became an orphanage for all children of any race. In addition to being able to study. And you can use my money for that. Serafal. If you want that, that's fine. And I will help too. The others too since they would be children of their factions. Issei spent the whole day at home with the girls since he was going away. None of the girls went to work since they wouldn't be seeing Issei for a while. The next day Issei left early giving all the girls a goodbye kiss. He went to the girls and he saw them still asleep and he just gave them a kiss on the forehead. Then Tsukuyomi brought him with her. Tsukuyomi. Be careful. If something happens you know. Issei. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Tsukuyomi activated the portal and Issei entered. When he left he met many people and most of them took an attack position. Issei just raised his hands. Issei. I'm not here to fight, I'm just in the wrong place. Who are you? Issei. My name is Issei Igarashi, a pleasure, and you? At that he lowered his hands and gave a smile. The others left their attack position and one smiled and raised his hand to shake. Hello, I'm S. Chapter 180. Hello, I'm Son Goku. Issei. My pleasure. Well, I have to go, I have things to do. Goku? Wait, where you come from? Issei. I was talking to a friend and out of nowhere I'm here, hahaha. Lying since this time he didn't want to reveal so much. It's the same as Kakarot. Goku? Come on, don't be like that, Vegeta. Issei looked to the sides and saw different types of people. Issei. A purple cat, that's new. Who are you calling that, do you want to die? Issei. Sorry, I said it accidentally. Goku? This is Bill, Sama and Whis. Issei. I see. Well, I see how busy you are so I'll go. Goku? Wait. Issei. Yes, what happens? Goku? I feel a strange chi in you. You must be strong. Issei. I don't know what you mean, but I have to go. Goku? Fight me. Issei. Because. Goku? Just to see how strong you are. Issei. Well, if you want that's fine. Goku just gave him a big smile. Then he got serious and went against Issei in his current state. When he was about to hit Issei he evaded the blow and hit him in the abdomen, making Goku spit out some saliva. When everyone saw that, they were surprised since he did it without much difficulty. Goku? Hehehe, you're not weak so I'll be more serious. Entering Saiyan mode. Seeing that, Issei was surprised and took a fighting pose. At that Goku moved at great speed trying to hit Issei in the face. Issei stopped the fist with his hand and with the other he hit him in the face, sending him flying, landing near Bill's. Beerus. Hey, defeat him, if you can't beat him, you won't be able to beat the others. Goku. He's strong, I'd better be serious. Letting out a scream and entering blue mode. Issei was surprised by the color change. But he just smiled and took an attack position. From 1 second to the next Goku went to the attack wanting to hit Issei many times, but he with only one hand stopped all attacks. Issei. You're strong. Deflecting an attack and hitting one in the face that sent him flying into the sky. At that Issei jumped and connected his leg with Goku's abdomen. Vegeta. Maybe he can't beat him. Whis. That boy is powerful. Bulma. How much it is. Whis. It is impossible for me to measure his power. He must be hiding it and he does it very well. Beerus. Fight with all Goku, don't lose. Goku. Kaioken 10. Causing his power to increase greatly. Goku. Kamehameha. Issei. This is great. But it's not enough. Destroying his attack with just one hit. Everyone in the verse was surprised as they did not notice any scratches on Issei's part. At that Goku returned to his normal state. Goku. You're strong. I'm no match for you. Issei. You are strong too, but you would be stronger if you were in a very bad situation. Gohan. Sen, why don't you tell him? Goku. It's true. Hey Issei, can I ask you a favor? Issei. And that would be. Goku. You can participate in the tournament of power with others since we are missing one and it will begin shortly. Bulma. If they win I'll give them a lot of money. Issei. I will do it but not for the money. I'm curious about that. Goku. We must win. Issei. Because you have that desire to win. Whis. If this universe loses everything will be eliminated. Issei. Wait what? At that Whis began to explain everything to him and Issei was surprised with everything he heard as he discovered that there were more universes. Issei. Wow, that's a lot. But I'll still do it. Krillin. Even knowing what is about to happen, you will go. Issei. Well, I don't lose anything by doing well except dying, but it doesn't matter. Beerus. He is just as idiotic as Goku. But now we are all ready. Whis, we have been there. They were about to leave, but then many people arrived. Beerus. They sent obstacles so we wouldn't arrive on time. Goku. I'll take care of it. Issei. I'll help you. Goku just nodded and with that they both went on the attack. The enemies went to attack. Issei took care of his own without problems. At that point someone threw a sphere with the power of destruction, since a god had given it to them. Issei took the sphere and returned, hitting his enemy squarely. Minutes later all the fighters were gathered and were teleported to their destination. When Issei arrived he looked around and was surprised to see different types of people. Issei. This is great. Goku. I say the same thing, we have to win. Issei. I'll do my best. Number 18. The quicker we finish this the better so I can come back. That's when they gave the presentations of all the universes. Issei was still surprised by what he was seeing. Issei thoughts. It's a good thing the girls aren't here or else they'd scold me. Just then some acquaintances of Vegeta and Goku arrived. They talked for a bit while Issei was just waiting. Gohan. When this starts we have to be united so as not to be defeated so easily. Issei. That would be impossible. Gohan. Because. Issei. From what I understand, Goku started all this so everyone will come against us so they can eliminate us. So they are going to separate us. Krillin. You're right, this won't be easy at all. That's when someone spoke to get everyone's attention. Zeno-sama will say a few words before starting the battle. At that point they both came out. Issei. Who are they? Vegeta. They are the most powerful people in the universes so don't say stupid things. Issei better not say anything and just listen. He only said a few words and then the tournament began. The fighters went on the attack, some of Universe 7 divided up to look for their opponents, Goku being the first. For his part, Issei only walked a little and came to some large stones and took a seat. Issei. I want to see how strong they are. Plus this is unique to see. Watching the fights from afar. While in the stands. Beerus. They're idiots, I told them teamwork. Whis. Some did stay in a group. Shin. The only thing left to do is trust them. Furthermore, whoever is the last participant had never seen him. Beerus. No idea but he's strong. He fought Goku in his blue state. The two present were surprised to hear that and looked for Issei until they saw him sitting far away from the battles. Meanwhile in the combat arena everyone was fighting to eliminate their opponents, but no one stopped. Issei for his part was amazed by the skills of most of the fighters. Then that he saw how one was eliminated being from Universe 10. Just then someone appeared behind Issei and hit him, sending him flying, leaving him crashing into a wall. You want to hide. Plus you are from Universe 7. At that Issei came out of the rubble. Issei. Wow, that hurt a little. Cleaning clothes from dust. At that, the yellow wolf went to attack again, wanting to give him another kick, but Issei stopped her. Issei. Once is enough, don't overdo it either. He began to spin it in the air and then with some force threw it out of the arena, being eliminated. Some who saw that were surprised as he made it very easy. Issei. Honestly, I don't really feel like fighting, but I'll have to. Jumping up and taking a seat again. while those in the stands looked at him. Chapter 181. The tournament continued until everyone from Universe 9 had been eliminated. At that the Shinken gave the signal and both Xeno-sama were ready to eliminate them. The other fighters stopped and watched as the warriors and their gods were eliminated, leaving only the angel left. Several were surprised to see that. Issei. Wow, that was fast. So that will happen to us if we are all eliminated. He told him so himself. A few seconds passed and several came out of the shock and continued fighting so as not to lose and be eliminated. The fights continued and Issei was still in spectator mode as he watched as Krillin and number 18 were fighting a wolf that was blind. After a long fight they won, but Krillin got careless and was eliminated by Frieza's clone. Issei. I win your joy, friend. He continued watching the fights and noticed one where a blonde girl was fighting two at the same time. Issei. He has the same color and aura as Goku. The fights continued and Issei watched as Goku and the girl from before began to fight more. Then another girl joined the fight, unleashing a lot of power. Issei. Wow, that power is enormous, you won't have it easy. If you like to watch so much, why don't you go to the stands? Wanting to hit Issei but he dodged it. Issei. The truth is I like to learn new things and this is great. I can feel how weak you are. It's time for you to be eliminated. Going on the attack wanting to eliminate Issei. But for his part he just evades each blow. He stopped one and hit him in the face, sending him flying, and in the process he took another one that was careless. When they came out of the smoke, they both fought against Issei, wanting to eliminate him for causing that to them. Issei just let out a sigh and started to run, also landing his fist in the face of one that sent him flying away. The other began to fire shots at him. Issei. Kaiten Gakumakyaku. Releasing a large amount of power. Everyone upon seeing that was surprised by such ability. By doing that, Issei sent the rival out of the stadium. Hey Beerus, what kind of person is that? Beerus. Because I would have to tell you. Continuing to watch the fight. Issei ducked as a large fear of power came against him. I will eliminate you now. Issei. The good thing is that you don't have to kill. Dragon King roar. Roaring with great force, pushing his rival outwards, he tried his best to stop himself, but he couldn't. Several covered their ears upon hearing such a roar. The person couldn't hold on any longer and fell from the stadium. Whis. That was unexpected. Ill. It doesn't matter. Since he eliminated 3 very easily. What a beautiful technique. Goku. That was great. Issei. You should focus on your battle. I will help you with something, if possible, I will go that way. Goku just nodded and Issei left. The fights continued and Issei continued to see everything from afar and he could hear them saying his abilities. Issei was surprised every time they launched attacks at him. Issei. You know, if you're going to fight, do it at once and don't hide. You are not a normal person that you can defeat the majority so easily. Although they were weak. At that, the person approached Issei and took him by the shoulders. You know I can change my weight as I please, so that's as far as you go. The cord of stone forming on his body. At that point both of them began to go down due to the great weight. Issei looked at him and saw another fighter with the same red and black suit and as he spun around he created a tornado and attacked Issei. You don't leave here anymore. Issei for his part was calm as he stood up, surprising both. And he took the smallest one by his head and he took the other's hand and made his grip a little tight. And he began to walk towards the end of the arena. Issei. It was fun. Throwing both out of the stadium and being eliminated. Look for information about that boy. I want to know what he is capable of. The angel just nodded and started searching. The other gods also asked the same since they wanted to know about Issei. Minutes passed but nothing. I'm sorry Vermid-sama, but I didn't find anything about him. Vermid. How is that possible that you can't find everything? The other angels also found nothing about Issei. Whis. This is weird. So where did he come from? Beerus. It doesn't matter where it came from, the important thing is that we have to win this. Most of the gods began to observe Issei as they were curious about his power. For his part, he was not paying any attention to them since he was watching the fights. Just then he heard a girl scream and some saw where she was like him. At that one of them spoke and they began to transform. Everyone looked at that with curiosity to know what was going to happen. But out of nowhere someone shot where they stopped the transformation. Most of them were surprised to hear that. Issei for his part only laughed a little at what happened. But very few people heard it and were bothered by it. After that they had a second chance where this time they were completely transformed. Issei. This is new, really. It was kind of fun. So you are the one who was laughing at them, you are rude. Issei. Sorry but the truth was it was fun. Hey, you look like someone from a cartoon, I think he was that bear that ate a lot of honey. Although I don't remember his name. You finished? Issei. Sure. Let's fight. He won't have a chance against the Bills. Beerus. Shut up Fatus. Who are you calling that noodle? Beerus better not respond, but he was upset by the insult. At that Issei went against him and the trusting bear just put his hands on his waist. And I wait for the blow. At that Issei gave him a big blow that sent him flying away. Tampa seeing that his eyes widened because of what he did. The bear managed to stop, but then he saw Issei in front of him and was scared by his look. Issei. Shinra Tensei. At that he flew away even faster. The others saw that and their eyes widened because he didn't even touch it. The bear flew out of the stadium. Oku. That was great. Issei just turned around and started walking. Some saw it strange because of his calm attitude despite where he is. Whis, what kind of warrior is that boy? Whis. I don't know, sister. We only met him today, but you didn't realize it. Of course. Champa. What about Vados? Vados? That young man is suppressing a lot of his power. Champa. You mean that? Vados? That's right. It didn't cost him anything to eliminate one of ours. Who knows how high his level is? While in the fight, several saw that and took Issei more seriously since they noticed his strength. Chapter 182. The fights continued where no one stopped, there were fewer and fewer enemies, and some were looking for Issei, but they couldn't find him. Where the hell did that guy get into? If we don't defeat him right now, he will give us problems in the future. Running at great speed to find him. At that he stopped to rest a little and felt a hand on his shoulder. He slowly turned around and was surprised to see Issei there. He tried to leave, but couldn't because of Issei's grip. Issei. I heard that you were looking for me and you really want something. How do you hide? Issei. I don't get confused, it's just that I walk a little fast. You look like Bugs Bunny. The man felt very insulted upon hearing that and tried to kick Issei, but Issei stopped the attack. At that Issei let go of him and Dispo ran away from Issei. He thought he had separated from him and continued running, but ahead he saw Issei in front and stopped. Dispo. How come you came so fast? Issei. Walk a little, but hey, let's stop playing the game and finish this. Dispo was about to say something, but then Issei kicked him, sending him flying away, crashing into a rock. When his companions saw this, they were going to help him, but they were detained. Dispo came out of the rubble and started running against Issei. He was going to hit him, but Issei evaded him and connected his fist with Dispo's abdomen. He just spat from the impact of the blow. Issei. You hit yourself because you were going too fast. Dispo. You're so damn fast. Issei. Train a little. Dispo. I'm going to eliminate you. Heading up and running at a great speed, but Issei ran too and grabbed him by the neck and threw him with some force out of the stadium. Everyone was surprised when they saw that because he made it very easy. The god of destruction of Universe 11 was upset by what happened. Dispo. I'm sorry Vermid-sama, that guy was faster than me. Vermid. How is that possible, and it also looks as usual. Pointing at Issei and he was walking calmly. The minutes passed and there were fewer and fewer enemies. Some stopped looking for Issei since they did not want to fight him. Several from Universe 7 were eliminated but taking their opponents with them. Issei was at the top of a mountain watching all the fights. Issei. There is less and less of Universe 7 left. But I want to see what its limits are. Furthermore, Goku is already reaching his goal of what he will be able to do. Watching the fight. Iris. That Issei is someone very carefree for him not to be fighting. Whis. I would say reserved. Iris. This is about to end. Gohan. I hope they can. They are already very tired having fought for a long time. The battles continued and Issei saw that there were fewer and fewer rivals left. Issei. The truth is it's sad that innocent people disappear just because of the fight. But I have no choice but to help my colleagues. Well, he watched the fights with a slightly sad face about what was happening. I'll skip almost all the fights since well it's not necessary. Minutes passed and Issei saw how his new friend Goku stood up again. Issei. You surpassed your strength and by doing so you reached a new level, damaging that state. I admire you, Goku. Showing a smile on his face. He looked around and noticed the fights and how several were tired and how Vegeta was eliminated by another. Issei. This is about to end. Heading up and stretching your arms. At that she took a big jump and fell in front of a person. Issei. So you're Mole, I hope for a good fight. Mole. Igarashi Issei. I care about your power so show it to me. Issei. Good. Taking a step and being in front of him. Mole, seeing him this close, opened his eyes wide as he didn't even feel at the moment that he moved. At that Issei hit him in the face, sending him flying, destroying everything in his path. Seconds later he was getting up. Mole. I didn't expect it, but you're strong. You are worthy of being a good opponent. Issei ran towards him wanting to kick him, but Mole stopped her with his hand and sent Issei flying into some rubble. Hermit. That boy won't stand a chance against Topo. Iris. You look very confident saying that. Hermit. Topo is one who is almost on the same level as Jiren and is one of the candidates for a god of destruction. Iris was a little surprised and saw Issei that he was coming out of the rubble. Issei. Not bad. Mole, seeing that, started shooting with his fingers. But Issei evades every attack without much difficulty. And he started running faster, giving him a flying kick. Mole only spit out blood upon receiving the impact. He got upset and increased his power by releasing a large amount of it. Issei for his part became serious for the first time since he had started the tournament. At that the mole unleashed power of destruction and went to attack. At that he hit Issei in the face, but it didn't even move him from the spot, but it did burn his cheek a little. Several people were scared when they saw that, but they were also surprised to see Issei calm, and even more so to see that his wound regenerated quickly. Mole. What are you? At that Issei took a step and was in front of him with a serious look. Issei. A human. Giving him a blow to the stomach that sent him flying far away. After that Issei began to run at high speed and crossed Mole and gave him a kick that sent him flying into the sky. Issei. You think I was just watching for fun. I don't do those things for nothing. Taking a position that surprised several. Issei. Kamehameha. Firing a great attack that surprised many because of the great power of it and the color of it, which was blood red. Goku and the Dmas were shocked by what they had seen. The other remaining gods did not know what to say for such power. At that Issei stopped and returned to his usual look. Issei. I think I overdid it, hahaha. Scratching the back of his neck. Beerus. What great power. What kind of human is that boy? Hermit. What kind of creature did you bring, Beerus? He was about to respond, but one of the Xeno-sama spoke. Xeno. Great. Xeno too. That was unique. Issei started walking to where Goku was. Issei. You look terrible, friend. Goku. Hahaha, you see. Hey, how did you do that? Who taught you? Issei. I learned quickly. And well, now it's my turn to fight him. Aiming at Jiren. Goku. You won't have a chance against him, nor could I with Ultra Instinct. Issei. You trust me. Goku just nodded since he was tired and started walking a little further. Issei. I hope for a good fight, my friend. Jiren. This is as far as you go. Moving at a high speed and tried to hit Issei in the face, but Issei evaded the blow. Issei. I say the same. Hitting Jiren with some of his strength that sent him flying. Jiren managed to stop and wiped away the little blood he had. Jiren. Damn. Releasing a large amount of power and increasing his muscle mass. Issei then stretched out both arms, and no one understood why until Issei gave a round of applause. At that, 2 large waves of earth went against Jiren. But without much difficulty he evaded them, but as he did so Issei kicked him in the back, which sent him crashing to the ground. Those in the stands only watched that fight with amazement, plus those from Universe 11, since their best warrior was not doing well. Jiren got up annoyed and went to attack, but Issei stopped his fist. Issei. If you are guided by anger you won't get very far. This way you will only lose faster. Jiren. You don't know anything. Releasing more of the power of him. Issei just let out a sigh at what he said and bent his arm, causing it to break. Jiren just screamed in pain, and the others didn't know what to say. Issei. I warned you, but if you don't listen to me that's your problem. Hitting me in the stomach caused me to spit out a lot of blood. Jiren fell to the ground unable to get up and was about to give up until he heard the voices of his companions and saw them and noticed his support. He just formed a half smile that only Issei noticed, and when he saw that he smiled. At that Jiren stood up and went to attack with more power. Issei evaded some blows, but he received some too. Issei. That's much better. Giving him a blow that sent him flying. Issei. Rasengan. Creating a large Rasengan in his hand that he surprised several with such ability. At that Issei threw it at Jiren. He was about to leave, but he couldn't move since his feet were trapped. Since previously Issei had used an earth jutsu to trap him. Jiren, without any other option, used all his power to deflect the power, but Issei gave more power to the Rasengan, so that it became stronger and bigger. Jiren just screamed more to have more power. Issei. You are a great warrior. Kaioken X30. Increased the power of him more. Goku upon hearing that was even more surprised since he had learned another of his abilities. Jiren just put on a smile and received the attack squarely. Seconds later he was in the stands. He was about to say something, but his companions beat him to it and encouraged him. Jiren didn't say anything, but he was grateful to them. At that the 2 Xeno-sama eliminated Universe 11, leaving only the angel. Seeing that, Issei just let out a sigh and went to his friend. Goku. It was fantastic. Issei. The rest is up to you. Goku. But you won in the end. Issei. I only appeared at the end while you guys did the majority, so do it. Goku just gave him one of his classic smiles and gave him a thumbs up. At that they summoned the great golden dragon and Issei was surprised to see it. Goku. I wish that all deleted universes be restored. The dragon just made its eyes shine and all the participants reappeared and were surprised to be alive again. Issei. It was a good wish. Goku. There are many powerful fighters there and I wish to fight them more with Jiren. Issei. I wish you luck with that. At that they both went with the others and both raised their thumbs in victory. Xeno. That was great guys. Plus, Issei has proven to be someone very strong and that's why he asks for whatever you want. Everyone was surprised when they heard that. Issei thought about it for a few seconds, but in the end he refused. Zeno. I see and tell me you like the tournament. Issei. It was interesting. Well, if this is all, I'll go. Zeno. Tell me you fought seriously. Issei. Yes, I did. Zeno. Don't notice that. So tell me, would you fight a god from another universe? Everyone's eyes widened at this proposition when they heard it. Iris was going to say something, but Issei beat him to it. Issei. Sure, but I. Everyone upon hearing what he said did not know what to say for such words. The two Zeno-sama looked at each other and nodded. Issei just smiled at that. Hello, I'm Issei. Zeno-sama just gave me a great message that I couldn't refuse. I feel excited about what will happen, although my friends are not very happy about what I said, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing the girls aren't here or else they'll kill me, hahaha. See you in the next chapter. Hahaha. I always wanted to say that I hope he was the same as Goku. Chapter 183. Iris approached Issei and grabbed him by the neck. Iris. Maybe you're crazy about what you want to do. Issei. It's no big deal. Iris. Stop saying stupid things and take back that thing about wanting to take a shower on all of us. At that, Issei took Iris's hand and removed it from his neck. Issei. I'm not going to lie to you. I could tell that everyone exceeded their limits today, but not me. Jiren is someone very strong and he lost because of his hatred, and he was also weak. Everyone was surprised by what he said. Issei. You guys are strong, so I hope for a good battle. Champa. You have a very stupid boy, Beerus. Ivan. I say the same. But if you want it to be that way, you must be aware of the consequences. Issei. If it weren't like that, I wouldn't have asked for this. Zeno 1. Good, since everyone accepted. The Shinken prepares the stadium, only this time it lasts longer. The angel just nodded and sent all the participants to the stands and began the repairs. Iris. If you fight, you want it to be that way, but you must know that no one will have mercy on you. Issei. And who said that I would have mercy on them? Turning around and looking at Beerus with a serious look that amazed him by such a murderous look. Whis. Beerus-sama must be careful with Issei. Ills. Because. Whis. I can tell that young Issei has a lot of experience on the battlefield. Ills. Me too. Whis. What I'm trying to get at is that Issei has mercilessly killed all of his enemies. Beerus looked from him to Issei and saw him talking calmly with Goku. Beerus. You're kidding, right? He is just as idiotic as Goku. I don't think he has the guts to kill someone. Whis better not respond. Goku. How will you win? Issei. You calm and I nervous, hahaha. Goku. I wish you luck. Issei just gave her a smile and gave a thumbs up. Goku, seeing that, just laughed. The other gods were calm since just one was enough to stop Issei. 10 minutes passed and the combat arena was already finished. The Shinken. Well, before starting I will name the participants. From Universe 1 Ivan. From Universe 2 Hells. From Universe 3 Moscow. From Universe 4 Remove It. From Universe 5 Iraq. From Universe 6 Champa. From the Universe 7 Bills. From Universe 8 Liquor. From Universe 9 Sidra. From Universe 10 Ramesh. From Universe 11 Vermid. And finally the Universe 12 Jin. The 12 gods entering the battlefield. The Shinken. And his challenger Igarashi Issei. Walking to the stadium and seeing all the gods. Jin. Human, it's not too late for you to leave yet. Issei. I never retreat from a battle. Taking attack position. The Shinken. The fight will end when one of both sides surrenders or is knocked out. They can fly, there are no restrictions. Ramesh. Then we can kill him if we go all out plus the Hakai. The Shinken. The young man asked that you go with everything so you can use that. Vermid. This will be easier, but I'll go quickly. The Shinken. Let the combat begin. Moscow, without wasting time, launched an attack with the Hakai towards Issei since he wanted to leave there. Beerus didn't say anything as they were only wasting his time. When the attack was about to hit Issei, he stopped it without much difficulty. When the gods saw this, they were surprised, as were the angels. Champa. But how? At that, Issei looked up from him and the gods could see a red eye and that surprised them. Issei. It's a monster power, I'll give it back to you. Throwing it at such a great speed that the god barely managed to defend himself from the attack. All the gods were distracted that they didn't notice the moment Issei moved. Seconds later he was in front of Sidra and hit him hard in the face, sending him flying away from everyone. The other gods came out of shock and went to attack. Pueleta was the first to want to hit Issei, but to his surprise Issei stopped him with his hand and kicked him that sent him flying. At that, several gods went to attack, but Issei hit them all with just his legs. The spectators were surprised by what they saw. Goku? Wait, why do they fight so slowly? Before starting the tournament 3 of them fought and we couldn't see them. Some heard that and thought they were just playing with Issei. Beerus. You're not as weak as I thought. But this ends now. Releasing a large amount of power. And going at a great speed that no one in the audience could see. Beerus was about to hit Issei from behind. Issei. I expected more from you. moving at a high speed and appearing behind Bills. Iris could only feel a shiver down his back, but then Issei kicked him, sending him flying away. Ellen created a bow and arrow, and she started shooting several at Issei. For his part, upon seeing that, he took out a spear from his bracelet and deflected all attacks. No arrow managed to touch him. Seeing this, Helen was surprised since that spear could against her powerful arrows. Issei approached her and hit her with her same spear. Vermid. This human is not normal. Stop it. Those in front of him nodded and went to attack. Issei turned around and started running, bumping fists with Moscow. But his hand was destroyed. Those who managed to see that were surprised since he did it without much difficulty. Issei. That's all they have. You are not gods. She said it shouting where everyone could hear it. The gods, upon hearing this, became upset and went on the attack, releasing a large amount of power. Seeing that, Issei formed a half smile and went to the attack as well. Flashing fists with champagne, but then Arak arrived and hit him in the ribs that sent him flying. Ramesh gave a loud roar as he intercepted Issei, sending him flying again. Gin sent him flying too, and their vermid enclosed him in a sphere. Ivan. What did you mean with your previous words? At that vermid created some talismans and threw them, but before impact Issei left the sphere. And he hit Ivan. Issei. They are very trusting just because they have the title of a god. Stopping an arrow with his hand and returning it to his creator. Issei turned to see Liquor with 9 tails. Issei. He is the same as Yusaka and Kunu and that fox that Naruto has. Liquor. You force me to use all my power. Launching several attacks through his tails. Issei's own hands deflected each attack and began to walk. Liquor, upon seeing that, became angry and launched more attacks. Other gods joined him and started shooting. Issei. Absolute defense. Running at great speed and hitting each one. The Shinken had his usual face, but inside he was surprised by Issei's level. Some gods began to get up with some injuries and saw Issei with nothing. Champa. We hit you several times because you have nothing and because you are not tired. Issei. I trained for many years to get to where I am. But I still have a long way to go. Taking a step forward. Issei. True spirit form. Forming behind Issei a form of himself but larger. Everyone was surprised when they saw that. The two Xeno-sama were happy because of what they saw. The angels did not know what kind of power that was since it was the first time they saw it. At that Issei's spirit form extended both arms. And Issei activated his Renningen. Issei. It's the first time I'm doing this, I hope you can handle it. At that Issei's spirit form gave a loud applause. Issei. Shinra Tensei. Plus he had used the power of the devil fruit to make the impact more powerful. The gods, upon feeling such an impact of power, tried to cling to the ground, but it was of no use as they flew out of the stadium. Some parts were destroyed by such an impact of power. The remaining gods were shocked by what they saw. Issei, for his part, deactivated his spiritual form and went against the remaining gods, giving them several blows to each one, leaving several out of combat. They stopped using the Hakai because it didn't do much good since Issei stopped every attack. At that the Shinken goes down to the stadium and sees several unconscious gods and others who were not there due to Issei's impact. The Shinken. The winner is the young Igarashi Issei. Upon hearing that, the audience came out of the shock and the first to applaud was Goku congratulating his friend. Vegeta was upset with Issei since he fought against the gods and left as if nothing had happened. Minutes passed and the gods began to wake up and others arrived from the place where they had fallen. Goku. They beat you up Beerus-sama. Whis. I warned you. Beerus. Shut up. He said he was upset by such humiliation. The other angels told their gods the same thing, but they got upset. Xeno 2. It was great. Xeno 1. You are very strong. Issei. Thank you, it was fun. Champa. Maybe you have fun hurting others. Issei. Not at all, it's just that I had time without fighting like that. Xeno 1. Igarashi Issei, I have a proposal for you. Issei. Tell me. Xeno 2. I want you to be a new god of destruction. Everyone was surprised when they heard that. Issei. I'm fine, no thanks. Everyone upon hearing that opened their eyes wide as someone refused him. Beerus was going to say something, but the Shinken stopped him. Xeno 1. Because. Issei. I have things to do, I can't do such a thing. Xeno 2. You are strong and you can. Issei. How about we make a deal? Xeno 1. I try that. Issei. I will accept that title but with one condition. Xeno 1 to 2. Which one? Issei. I'll only be one for a year. Champa. You're crazy. Xeno 1. That's nothing. Issei. In that time I will be in charge of erasing all evil from the universe that you give me in charge and for a time there will be peace. Since there will always be wars in the future. And what you say is right. Extending both arms. The two Xeno-sama looked at each other and nodded and took Issei's hands. Issei. One more thing. I will do it later, first I want to explore a little. I will never have this opportunity to see a universe and its planes. I will return in 2 months to take over. Xeno 1. Okay. Sidra. Because he accepts their demands, Xeno-sama. And that they both saw him. Seeing them, Sidra got scared and got on her knees. Xeno 1. You have no right to speak. None of you. The day I realized how weak they have become. The other gods upon hearing this fell to their knees and were scared as they were afraid of being eliminated. Xeno. You better train because if this happens again I will delete you. Everyone nodded quickly. Xeno. Issei, you will be in charge of universe number 18. With Goku's wish, several who had been eliminated returned. Issei. Good. A Shinken. Like every god of destruction you must have an angel to guide you and train you. Issei. It's not necessary. A Shinken. That's how things are. And since you will only be a god of destruction 1 year you will have to train faster than normal, so Vados and Margarita will be your angels. Champa. But. A Shinken. They are people who will be able to guide you, plus you only spend your time sleeping, and you Vermid-sama with your women do not do their work. New temporary angels will be assigned to you. While they are busy. Any objection? They both quickly denied. Issei. Well, with that said I will leave. See you later. Vados. Where do you want us to take you? Issei. The truth is I want to go alone. I hope you understand me. Margarita. Because if we take it will be faster. Issei. I like to explore things and it's more fun when you don't know what's in store for you. So see you later. Where do I have to go when I get back though? The Shinken approached Issei and gave him a button. The Shinken. When you go back, press that button and you will reach where Xeno-sama will be. Issei. Great and thank you. Well, with that said, see you. Taking out its wings and taking flight at great speed. When they saw that, several were surprised to see their wings. Later everyone returned to their universe since they had a long day. Hi, I'm Issei. They just gave me the title of a god and left me in charge of a universe. What trouble did I get into? But hey, that doesn't matter now. The most important thing is that I will be able to discover new planets. Although on my way I come across strong enemies and someone who will give me a fight. See you. Next chapter. Will Issei reach his limit? Chapter 184. It had been a week since Issei decided to go explore the universe and he was surprised by everything he saw and planets he visited. He was going at a great speed since he wanted to see many things. Issei. All of this is unique. Taking out a video camera and recording the places to show the girls. This was flying so fast that he didn't even notice that he had gone so far. Issei. Well, it's time to rest a little. Looking to the sides and in the distance he saw a planet and without thinking twice he went there. Upon arriving and touching land he was surprised at how great he looked since there were many flowers and a good breeze. Issei. Wow, what a nice place. I will take pictures. I was about to take out the camera but then I heard a voice. What are you doing in my house, inferior race? Issei turned around and was calm. Issei. I just wanted to stop for a bit after traveling so much and well I saw this place. But if it bothers me I'll leave. Do you think you can do it that easily? Issei. Come on, I don't want problems, I'll go. Only if you die here. Issei. You don't think you're exaggerating with this? Don't talk to me with so much confidence. Issei. Good. I better go. He was about to leave, but then something sent him flying away, colliding with a rock. I told you that you won't leave here. Issei. You don't think you're exaggerating? But if you want to kill me, come. The person just laughed a little and with his finger created a sphere of power and threw it at Issei, since that was enough. When he was about to hit Issei he grabbed her with his hand, but to his surprise, he started to destroy her arm. Issei, with the little strength he had in his hand, threw it into the sky. Yes, you are an idiot, but you managed to survive although at a cost. He was about to continue, but he was surprised to see how Issei's arm regenerated quickly. Issei. I won't lie, that hurt me. I see you're serious. Then I will do it too. Running towards the person. I tried to hit him, but he stopped it with his hand. Don't you dare touch me, dirty. Giving him a kick that sent him flying away. He was about to go to Issei, but then he looked at the person and punched him in the face, sending him flying into the sky. Issei took a big leap and kicked him in the back, sending him flying further. How dare you touch me? Having an annoyed face as he floated in space. Issei took out his wings so he could swing well. The person just snapped his fingers and then a great wave of power went against Issei, sending him crashing back to the planet. How dare you touch me? Issei. This is just beginning. Upon hearing that voice, the person turned around only to receive a blow to the face that sent him flying crashing into another planet. The already annoyed person went against Issei and tried to hit him, but they both collided with his fists, causing a large wave and destroying some planets in their path. You are forcing me to use more than 5% of my power. Issei. I see if that's the case, use it all. Giving him a kick in the ribs that sent him flying. He quickly recovered from the blow and launched several attacks that Issei deflected with some difficulty. Issei thoughts. This person is not someone weak, I will have to go all out. Deflecting an attack. Issei. Rasengan. Creating a large sphere the size of a planet, and at the end he threw it at him. The rival, upon seeing this with his own hands, stopped the attack since he thought it would be enough, but to his surprise, the sphere had a lot of power, so he had to deflect it by colliding elsewhere. It was millions of years since I fought someone and it lasted that long. Issei. I see. But I'm tired, it's time for you to die, you forced me to use 10%. Creating a sphere in his hand just like the previous one, only this time bigger. At the end he threw it to Issei. Seeing the attack, he stretched out both hands. This one has more power, you won't be able to beat it. Putting on a half smile. And that Issei with both of his hands created the same sphere. The person seeing that was surprised. Issei. You think I'll give up so easily? Launching the attack and both spheres colliding, causing a large explosion destroying everything in its path. Issei and his enemy didn't even move from their places. Ahahaha, I will show you the power of a divine being. Releasing her divine Kai being a small amount for her. Issei had his serious face seeing that. Seconds later her rival went on the attack and they both began to bump fists. Every blow that his rival gave him destroyed Issei's hands a little, but he regenerated them quickly. Hours passed and each time they destroyed everything in their path. They both distanced themselves and Issei was a little tired and his rival a little tired. Thoughts. I used more than 50% of my power and why doesn't he die? At that she came out of his thoughts as she heard Issei's laughter. Are you crazy to laugh like that? Issei. You know, it's been a while since I received as many injuries as I do now. You're strong and so you have not used all your power. I say the same about you. At that Issei took off the little shirt he had on and seals began to come out of his body. Issei. Years ago I put on some suppression seals and today I'm taking them off. You're someone strong. So you have even more. Then I will give my all too. Releasing all of her divine power at once. By doing so he destroyed some universes with just his power. Issei. Then I will use my entire arsenal. Removing the seals and letting out a sigh. At that Issei activated his spiritual form, the person seeing that was a little surprised. But he was more surprised to see another red figure also at the same time. Issei. I have never used Susanoo and now I will. The person was a little surprised by the power. Issei. Fusion of true spirit form. At that, Issei's spiritual form began to shine and he joined Issei, causing his hair color to change to blood with black highlights. Issei. I hope this also fuses. Fuse the Susanoo too. Making his hair color more red. At that Issei blinked and activated the Sharingan and Rinnegan. The person was surprised by such power but also excited by what happened. At that Issei extended both hands and started to apply some pressure. His rival did not understand what he was doing until he looked to the sides and noticed how two planets were coming. He was about to leave, but Issei had sent a clone and stopped him. At that both planets collided with each other, causing a large explosion. Seconds later with great speed he came out, hitting Issei that sent him flying away. Issei stopped and went to the attack, also colliding with more force against his blows. Thoughts. It's getting stronger as possible, I've never lost. Increasing his power and dealing a blow to Issei then launched several powerful attacks. Issei. Absolute defense. Making all the shots hit him squarely. How is it possible that he doesn't die? I am using all my power against that inferior race. Issei. I can't die yet. Smoke coming out of the explosion with a few scratches. Issei. It's time to try a new technique. Stretching out an arm and attracting a lot of energy from the few planets that there were. Making it bigger and bigger. At that Issei stretched out his other arm and created a Rasengan of the same size and joined them together. I thought it gave off a lot of power, but Issei added the wind element to it. Issei. Futen Genki Race and Shuriken. Launching the big attack. The person, upon seeing such power of the sphere, created one of the same size and threw it, causing both to collide with each other. Issei. Shinra Tensei. Making its sphere gain more ground. But the other person also put more power into her as she screamed and gave it her all. Issei. Kamehameha. Making the shot hit his sphere and push further. Issei. I won't give up here. Starting to scream and releasing more of his power. They both screamed giving everything they had. But the enemy sphere was gaining ground. Issei. I have a family to see so I won't give up on them. Putting in more power as he began to bleed from his eyes and the skin on his hands peeled off. Issei. This is nothing Gaia. Heikin, X100. Releasing more power and putting Hakai on it. Gaining more ground. How can he still continue alone? He is an inferior being. I have never lost and I won't now. Using more power and spitting out blood from the pressure. Everything around him was destroyed and in the distance too. Nothing was saved by its devastation. Issei noticed how he lost ground and saw how his hands were shaking. At that he closed his eyes and many images of the girls came to his mind and finally the smile of both girls and a few words. Iri. 2chan, you're coming back right? Issei. Of course I'll come back, I promise. giving him a smile and Eri giving him a hug. At that Issei opened his eyes. Issei. I will not die no matter if my body is completely destroyed, my desire to fight will lift me up because they are very big and I have to see those smiles again. Releasing all his spiritual rings and giving his all. Screaming at the top of your lungs. It seems that I have reached this point. I didn't think that one day I would lose. Having a half smile and stopping attacking since he had no more strength and he closed his eyes for the inevitable. And that Issei's great sphere of power went against his enemy. Seeing that, Issei used everything he had and deflected his attack to another direction, and upon exploring they were both pushed by the explosion away from there. Seeing the already unconscious person, Issei took his shoulder and they waited to see where they were going. Until they both fell on a planet causing a big crash. Issei. This has been a long day. Deactivating her and Susanu's spiritual form and her hair returning to normal and closing his eyes, since he was tired from everything he had done in just one day. 3 days passed and Issei opened his eyes and got up with some pain. From his bracelet he took out a hermit seed that had been given to him previously. And he looked to the side of him and saw his enemy next to him still unconscious. Issei got up and went to explore a little. Minutes later when he returned he noticed that he was already awake. Issei. Better now. You're still alive. And I see that you are not hurt. Issei. I still feel tired you know. I had never fought like this in my life. Today I managed to overcome something. And it's time to continue improving. What kind of monster are you to have so much power? Issei. A human. Chapter 185. You play with me right? Issei. What would I gain by doing that? Taking a seat on the floor. You are the weakest species, how did you get to that level? Issei. Training non-stop and looking for a purpose to fight. I see. Issei. I'm glad you don't want to kill me anymore. I don't have the strength right now. It's also the first time someone beats me. This is what it feels like to lose, it's so weird. Issei. Ha 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 ha, there is always a first time. I had many before. I understand, and where did you get all your skills from? Issei. I have traveled a lot in my life and well over time I learned something new. At first I didn't use them, but my loved ones are very important to me, so I have to train them. I see. And what are you doing here? Issei. You know this is how our talk should have been from the beginning. I didn't want to hear from anyone. That's why I separated myself from everyone and whoever came to bother would know the consequences. Issei. Yes, I already realized. And good. Issei. I like to explore new places. I have about 2 months to do it, since then I have to come back. Where to? Issei. I promised Zeno-sama that he would take care of Universe 18. Hearing that she was surprised. Issei. Something's wrong. You came from a place somewhat far away. Issei. It only took me about 5 days to get to where I saw you. The place you say is Ultraverse 1 and right now you are in Ultraverse 2. Hearing that, Issei was surprised. Issei. I see. Because of the emotion or attention paid to my path. Sorry, my name is Igarashi Issei, a pleasure. My name is Mikishin. Issei. So if I'm in this place it means there are many universes too. Mikishin. Yes, but I destroyed them a long time ago. And with our fight we finished off the others. Issei. Wait, that means. Mikishin. There were no longer inhabitants in those we destroyed. Since she wanted to be alone. Issei. I see. You are an angel like Dashinkan. Mikishin. Yes, but he is my younger brother. I haven't seen it in millions of years. Since he wanted to fight with strong gods. Issei. I understand. Mikishin. Plus that place is boring. I had the intention of going and killing those gods since they are very lazy. Issei. They may be, but innocent people are not going to die because of them. Mikishin. No one could stop me. Issei. And Zeno-sama. Mikishin. You should know that an angel trains the gods, no. Issei. Yes. Mikishin. In short, Dashinkan is stronger than that child. And I am stronger than Dashinkan. Issei. Wait, but he is the king of everything. And if you are stronger than Zeno-sama because you didn't kill me quickly like the one who just raised his hand and made an entire universe disappear in seconds. Mikishin. You think you don't try. I did it from the first attack, but you stopped it and only destroyed your hand. Issei. I see. Mikishin. I thought you'd be more excited knowing that you're stronger than that kid. Issei. I really don't care. Mikishin. You're not conceited to know that you have so much power. Plus I don't feel your Kai. How come you are so strong? Issei. I'm still learning about Kai, but I still have a long way to go. I have seen many great abilities like Goku's that manage to activate Ultra Instinct. Mikishin. Someone besides the angel's knows. And who is he? Issei. A warrior from Universe 7. Mikishin. That someone like that learns it means that he has a future, since even the gods find it difficult. Issei. You said angels can do that. Mikishin. Sure, and they know how to use it until the final phase. Issei. I'll tell Vados and Margarita to tell me how to do it. He told himself that, but Mikishin heard him. Mikishin. You are strong and yet you want to improve. Issei. Many images came to my mind when I was about to lose, so I used a lot of my power to stop you. I still have to improve. Mikishin. I see. Issei. Well, I'll have to come back first. Since I will have to train a little. Getting up and stretching your arms. At that point he took out the button on his bracelet and was about to leave, but they grabbed his hand. Issei. Something's wrong. Mikishin. I am going to train you and be your guiding angel. Issei. But I already have 2 people who will do it. Mikishin. With me it will be faster. So they will not be necessary. Issei. The more you help, the better. I will be in your care. But before we go I have to tell you something. Mikishin. What a thing. Issei. Don't tell anyone about our battle or there will be a scandal. Mikishin. Good. Issei. And what are we going to tell them when we arrive? Mikishin. I'll talk. Issei just nodded and pressed the button. They were both teleported to their destination. When they arrived they were in front of the large doors. The Shinken opened them and was surprised to see a person there. The Shinken. Mikishin-sama who brings her here and with young Issei. Mikishin. Long time no see. Take me to him. The Shinken just nodded and guided them to where both Zeno-sama were. Issei. Hello again. Zeno-1. Issei. And so do you. Mikishin. Long time no see. Zeno-2. What are you doing here? You come for a fight. Mikishin. It will be for another time right now I don't have time for that. I came to be the angel to train Issei. Everyone was surprised when they heard that. The Shinken. But because he also already has 2 of his guardians. Mikishin. I see something in him. That's all I'll say is you have a problem. The Shinken only denied since he knew of his power. Seconds later, Fords and Margarita arrived. Issei. Hello both. Eidos. Hello again Issei-sama. Margarita. I enjoy your trip. Issei. At the beginning, yes, but then things changed, but it doesn't matter. Fords. Mikishin-sama. They both bowed. The Shinken. Then you're ready if you're back. Issei. The faster the better. Mikishin. What's the rush? The Shinken. He will only be a god for a year and then he will leave, that was the deal. Mikishin saw Issei and he just laughed a little. Zeno-sama approached Issei and gave him the suit. When he put it on the 3 angels were surprised by how well it looked on him and he looked better with his hair down. Mikishin also put on his suit for the first time since he had never been a guardian. The Shinken. Guide him to the place where he will be. Both girls nodded and approached Issei and teleported away. Mikishin stayed to discuss some things. When Issei arrived he saw a very nice field with a lake. Issei. Well, you already know me and I know little of you, but I hope we get along well in this short time. Margarita. I say the same Issei-sama. Issei. Just tell me Issei I don't like that. Eidos. But. Issei. That's the only thing I'll say okay. They both just nodded. Seconds later Mikishin arrived. Eidos. And what do you want to do? Issei. Tell me the most dangerous planets there are. They both nodded and searched with their staff and found many results. Margarita. There are many who are being exploited by the enemy. Eidos. This is one of the most dangerous universes. Issei. I see. That Issei makes 2 clones. Issei. We will go in 3 groups. Mikishin. And these will help you. You must know that our job is only to train you and take you to those places you want to destroy. Issei. Cut off one's head. Mikishin didn't understand but he did. When he did so seconds later she grew again, surprising the 3 of them. Issei. They regenerate quickly and can also divide. Even if they don't have all my power, they serve a lot. I want them to take them to the places where it's not so dangerous while I go to the most dangerous ones. Eidos. And who are you going with? Issei. You decide. The 3 saw each other. Mikishin. I'll go. I want to see what you will do. Margarita. Next time I'll go. Mikishin. Yes it will be in turns. And when will you start training? Issei. Coming back first things first. Eidos. But I should rest. Issei. Time is short and there is a lot to learn. See you later. He saw Mikishin and she summoned her staff and teleported with Issei. The other 2 also went to their destination. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.